Now start.
All right.
Well, let's get confirmation.
Alright, it's going to take a minute.
Okay.
Because it'll probably take, because there's like a 15 or 30 second delay.
Edition history. This is the second part.
Where's my
3.5.
makeup? Where's my makeup? I can't work like this.
We've got a wig if you want a wig. Or a hat. How about a derby?
A derby?
Yeah, we could fit with a sorcerer.
I don't know if I want a hat.
How about a, okay. Yeah, a Renaissance hat, actually.
All right.
It says live. 10 seconds so far. So this is 3.5B. I mean, we played a 3.5.
Yes, this is part 2 of our 3.5 adventure.
Yeah.
Our characters have leveled up, so they're a little more capable than they were last week. And we shall see.
I have a lightning bolt for every goblin here.
I am not getting anything right now for,
Well, it should be under
live videos that match this.
RPG Studios.x. RPG Studios X.
RPG Studios X.
Yeah.
So that was something I found interesting with 3rd and 3.5 is the sorcerer versus the wizard. Do you want to be able to toss lots and lots and lots of a couple of spells, or a few of a much wider variety of spells? The sorcerer quickly became a favorite of the damage dealers. The same people that like to play evokers in 2nd edition really enjoyed playing sorcerer.
Dungeons and Dragon Edition History 3.5.
Okay.
That would be so. Dragons is spelled dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not good. But
Can we?
However,
is there a way to change it?
Is there somebody outdoors?
No, you're hearing.
Oh, I'm hearing my own stuff.
You're
Okay.
hearing the audio on.
All right. No, there's no way to change
I
it.
am turning off the audio now.
Okay. And we are live, so let's.
I don't know if that's true.
All right.
All right, Jeff.
In our last episode, our intrepid adventurers delved into Undermountain beneath the city of Waterdeep, looking to figure out what happened to the Mad Mage Halaster. After going through several treacherous traps and fighting some terrifying monsters, they got themselves a secure place to camp for the night. Now, having regained their vitality and spells, they are preparing to delve onward.
Well, okay. I guess we're sleeping, right?
Yeah. So we are sleeping. We've just leveled up. We're at level 6 now.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that I also acquired this ring.
Yeah.
You said you were putting it on, right?
I did put it on while everyone was sleeping because I was bored. And so this is. So I'm going to read the description that you handed me. I don't know if I would actually know all of this.
Your character probably doesn't know it all yet.
Okay.
But it'll be something that we can figure out in play. Does it say that there's anything you become immediately aware of when you put the ring on?
It does not. Hold on. Well, so it says, fashioned by Halaster, these iron rings have pairs of tiny curved horns curling out and back toward the wearer. Only 8 are known to exist, and only 8 horned rings are known to exist, and nearly all are accounted for among Halaster's ex-apprentices. This so-and-so had one in her possession, but it vanished centuries ago along with her. The wearer of a horned ring can employ greater teleport within the confines of Undermountain, unaffected by the presence of a Halaster's teleport cage. It is not possible to teleport out of or into Undermountain using a horned ring. Upon command, the wearer of a horned ring can cloak himself in an anti-magic aura, and a horned ring provides magical protection equivalent to a brooch of shielding and a major ring of energy resistance.
Okay. So
I can teleport.
It allows you to teleport if you're otherwise capable. Halaster had the ability. He's supposed to be dead, but we're not certain yet. To basically use a Star Trek metaphor, he could set up transport inhibitors that would keep any other wizard from teleporting around within his domain. With that ring, were you otherwise capable of teleporting, his cage would not stop you.
It just says I can employ greater teleport.
You can, but no one else could.
Right, I'm saying that
It doesn't mean that you get teleport, though. It means you can use it. That's what the...
So if...
Hold on, it says the horned ring can employ greater teleport within the confines of Undermountain.
Yep.
Unaffected.
So you can teleport anywhere around Undermountain.
Right, so I can teleport.
But you can't teleport outside of Undermountain.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it does. But I mean, now if you're telling me that
You teleport
it's-
across the room.
I'm saying that I can It doesn't say that if you can already have a teleport, then you cannot teleport. It says you can teleport. Tell me if I'm reading that.
I'm pretty
if I'm
sure that
reading
it would say that
incorrectly.
you could use that it gives you the ability to teleport, not that you can employ it. Employ it means you can use it, but if you don't have it already,
All right, fair enough.
Well, and that's the thing. Wizards of a certain level would be able to teleport, but if they're down here where Hallister has set up those cages, it wouldn't work.
Gotcha.
You would have to have one of these
So
rings.
Hallister is the name of the wizard that we're trying to attack.
Yes, the
What
one
they're
that.
trying to say.
Well, right,
What are
because
they trying to say?
everyone had that, or Loot. Everyone had that
Mm-hmm.
mental dream that showed Hallister screaming and possibly dying.
I forgot about that
you
dream.
could have just had some really spicy Thai food.
I don't
It
have.
could have been.
My wisdom is pretty low. I don't remember things real well. Let's see. And my pencil is gone.
So you guys had set up a guard rotation.
Yes.
You did.
And so nothing bothers you in the night. Everyone. Oh, I had another pencil. Do you need a pencil? You need a pencil.
I am going to need one, yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay. And there should be another one in here. Indeed, there is, because dragoons are always prepared for gaming.
Dragons, because that's what we're.
Well, no, that's my gaming club, the Royal Dragoon Guards.
Too high?
Yeah, it was okay. No, you're right.
Okay, so the next morning, everyone is refreshed. Spell slots are refilled. If you want to change, well, the sorcerer can't. But if you want to change your spells prepared, now would be the time to do it.
Do we get all of our hit
You
points
need to get
back,
a
or
lot
we
of
got a
cure
certain
spells.
number of hit points back? I think.
Yes,
I think we rolled
your
to get
level
hit points
times
back.
2, so 12. You would get 12 of those hit points back.
I would get 12 of those hit points back.
Right? Was the ranger injured?
I
don't think so.
was. Well,
I'm sorry, you're playing. I'm sorry, you're playing the rogue. So were you
rogue.
injured?
I was injured at some point, and then I leveled up, so my max is now 31. But I only added. I have myself going up to 30 because of something that I rolled at the end of the last session. But I don't think I was. I don't know how much I was injured. I think I might have lost like 7 points.
Probably
or
hit
something
points.
So
like
you're back up to your full hit. Whatever
I
your
should be-
maximum
I should
hit
be
points
back to my
is,
maximum.
you'll be back.
that. All right.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
I'll
when
take
you
it.
level, like, you don't have to heal. You
Okay.
just get those hit points too.
Right.
Okay,
So your max goes up and you also bump yourself. However many.
by a like amount.
Right.
All right. So, are you ready to continue on into your exploration?
Yes.
Okay. So, from this
Do you
room,
have greater teleport? You don't have the
Not
ability-
even close.
Okay.
Not even close. That's like 5th or 6th level.
it's sort of like an archwizard thing.
Yeah.
How did he find out about that? Was it an identify spell?
No, he was just the player read it.
I read it.
Oh.
But yeah,
you-
your
'cause you
character
handed-
wouldn't
'cause you
be aware
handed
of
it
it.
to me.
Yeah,
Oh.
the character would not be aware of it.
All right.
Well, memorizing an identify spell might be a good idea.
Well,
Yeah.
at least
But I
this
can't do that.
Didn't give you like
I'm like the sorcerer. My spells are
There's
fixed.
Lisa didn't give me what? I'm
a
sorry.
curse.
A curse? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I
that
have-
sucks when you pick up cursed items and then you're cursed. So,
You wouldn't do that to me.
But Hollister would.
All right.
it's not my fault. I'm
So
just
we
the
wake up
DM.
refreshed. Remind us what this room looks like.
All right, it was a storeroom, and you guys holed up inside the storeroom. You barred the door with whatever you could find, so nothing would bother you in the night, and indeed nothing did. But this storeroom was at the top of this set of stairs that you worked your way through last time. The stairs had appeared to have collapsed, and you ended up fighting an animated ball of fire to get where you're at now. So you are on a different level of Undermountain now, one that you haven't started to explore yet.
Have I searched this storeroom yet?
You guys did search it right before we
Right,
shut
Quite-
down.
Quite thoroughly.
Quite thoroughly. Okay.
Mhm.
And then but the ring came from the other room that was right next door, and that was where we needed to go in order to find our way to wherever we were going next, right?
Yes, I think that we're headed not towards the stairs, but in
Away from the stairs?
In the opposite direction to explore this level.
Is that right? Whatever room we found that ring in, that's the room that we're going to next.
No, we came from there.
You came from there.
Yeah.
All right.
That was at the top of the stairs.
Was that at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, it was. The room was off the top of the stairs.
All right, so I'll use dancing lights.
Okay.
Oh, and there was nothing. So there was. Did we search that room? Wasn't there anything else? Oh, no, we did search for that room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And send them down the hallway.
All right. So we're continuing on our quest now. We don't have to go back. I thought that we needed to look at that room again. I could have sworn that we needed to look at that room
we
again.
avoided the
maps.
the arms with the swords. The skeleton arms with the swords that were by the dwarves.
Yeah.
That was before that, though, wasn't it?
That was before you took the stairs. Yes.
Yeah. But was that the room that the ring was in?
No, that was the room you camped in. Is where the ring was.
Oh. Okay.
So coming out of the room, there is a 30-foot hallway leading northward to a pair of wooden doors. It's the first set of wooden doors you've seen since you've been down here. The doors are closed, and then, of course, off to one side are the stairs taking you back to where you just came from.
Okay. Search the door.
All right. Go ahead and...
I rolled a 1, but I have a plus 12 modifier, so that's 13.
The door looks, unremarkable. It's a oaken door with iron sheathing. There are a pair of what look like metal frames for arrow slits that can be opened from the other side.
He said slit.
Yeah, they are currently closed. The door feels strangely cool to the touch.
Strangely cool to the touch. Do you want to search it? Since I didn't do so hot on my search, do either of you have any searching capabilities?
You can't really.
You can't really do that.
You can't really metagame that.
All right.
According to you, if you roll it and you fail it, it's
Your character's pretty sure they haven't found anything.
Your character's not aware. You're just like, hey, I didn't find anything.
All right.
But I can detect magic, so let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, so you throw a detect magic. There is a low-level, persistent magical effect on the opposite side of this door that stretches as far as your spell can detect.
So either the other side of the door is trapped, or there's something magical on the other side of the door. Does it open in or open out?
It opens inward.
Excellent.
I'll open the door.
So,
I'll push my way
charge
front,
in, Bard.
and I'll just open the door and peek in.
All right. When you push the door,
Let's pull it.
or I'm sorry, pull the door. My bad. When you pull the door, a blast of cold air comes out, and it's easily 30 degrees cooler than the rest of the dungeon, which isn't exactly hot. You are underground. In fact, it looks like there may be a tiny bit of frost on the inside of the door.
Well, thankfully, I brought my lizard.
That's right. Oh, we forgot about Doggo as well. By losing the ranger, we lost Doggo.
He was pretty much our fighter.
All right,
Doggo was our fighter.
Doggo was pretty incredible.
I'll peek around.
All right. Peeking around, you see you were in a T-shaped intersection. The stonework here is a little different. It's less of the carefully worked dwarven architecture and a little bit more like human stonework. It's not terrible, but it lacks that precision and the angles and the look of dwarven stone. The door that you are standing in is in the center of a hallway running east-west, 10 feet to either side, both ending in doors very much like this one. Straight ahead is a 20-foot hallway, also ending in a reinforced wooden door. On either side of that hallway, there are containers built into the walls, and in one of the containers, there's still 3 old arrows sticking out of them, fletching first.
Well, maybe you should go grab those arrows, but I'd check for traps first. Maybe you should go grab those arrows. I don't know.
All right. I'm going to search those items.
Go for it.
That is a 2 plus 12 is 14.
Hey, that's a lot better than a 1. A lot better than a 1.
50%.
So,
100%.
100%. Depending on which way you're doing the math. So,
So
the
14.
arrows don't appear to be
Dice,
trapped
you are
in
fine.
any way. You're able to easily remove them from the bins. If these things were full, they'd be able to hold 40, 50 arrows each easily. And they're right behind where the arrow slits on the doors would be.
Are the arrows magic? Still have my.
You still have your detect magic up.
Yep.
One of the arrows does radiate magic. The other 2 are just mundane.
What kind of magic? Do we know that? We can't tell.
I can.
We can throw and identify magic.
Let's see. In this rule set, can I focus and determine a school
Yes.
of magic?
Yes, not a school, but a general quality, I think. Whether it's
I happen to have this trusty book right here.
evocation. Oh, that's the schools, isn't it? Necromancy.
Those are the schools:
Those are the
evocation, invocation, necromancy, divination, the kind where you can see the future. Okay, that kind of magic.
Yes.
So, it is a slight aura of evocation magic.
What does that mean?
Means
Evocation.
it probably explodes.
So, like when I fired it, it would explode.
Probably.
It
presumably.
could. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna hold on to that.
An explosive arrow, yes. That
Yeah.
sounds
Very-
devastatingly effective.
First round,
But-
detect the
But
presence.
only one of them
of
has
magical
explosive
aura.
magic.
Yeah. The other 2 seem like plain old arrows.
All right.
Second round of concentration, you can detect how potent they are. Third amount, strength and location of each aura. But it does not say that I can detect a school.
No. Okay.
Oops. Well, we know now.
Right. Well,
unknow it.
the arrow is a minor effect. The ring is radiating incredible amounts of magic, and this whole area
I think your ring's broken. man.
has some
You should
kind
probably just throw that away. I'll hold it for you.
of enchantment on
I'm
it.
good.
All right, so
Can't
the
even
doors
teleport.
have been opened.
The doors are all closed
It-
right now.
Well, I opened that one door into the big cold room. I'll stick my head
All
in
right.
there.
So we're in the middle of a T-shaped hallway.
Yes.
There are doors on and there are doors at the
Door
end.
to your
of each-
left, door to your right, and then 30 feet ahead, doors right in front of you.
Which one are we going to?
And the door in
Right,
front of
left,
me is the one that I opened that's cold.
Well, that's the one that gets you into this T intersection.
Oh,
Yes.
so it's cold in here.
It's cold in here.
Is it icy cold? Should we break out?
I'm
the
gonna search the room for anything else useful.
You said that there was
20
frost?
plus 12, 32.
So,
You're gonna have to tell us when to bring in the
right,
frosty stuff.
right. So,
Wait, frosty stuff? What frosty stuff?
You'll see.
so,
Don't peek.
You can look.
don't peek. Searching this room carefully,
Bloody rogues.
you find scrape marks along the floor showing that all of these doors are opened and closed regularly. You also find that behind the door to the north, there's a light source.
Behind the door to the north. That's the one directly.
The
in
one
front of
down the
us.
hall, yeah, the one straight ahead of you.
There's a light source.
Mm-hmm.
I will summon an unseen servant.
Do we want to just
Okay.
like hang out here until someone comes through? If this place has been like if people are opening and closing these doors regularly, eventually someone's gonna walk through one of these doors, right?
This kind of ambush. Hello. We're looking for a guy named what's his Elminster,
Hollister.
Hollister. Mind if
We
we
we could hang out in the
mind if we
corner.
walk through your area here like everybody else is walking through?
Hang out in the corner.
Hang out
Do
in
we
the
want
corner.
to just hang out?
Well, it would be like ambush. We'd wait for an ambush.
We could just
Because an ambush could be waiting for
we
us.
could just open the door.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think-
Let's go ahead in front of us.
I think I cast invisibility on the rogue and he goes and scouts ahead. That's what I think.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll hang back. Where are we hanging back?
Right at the doorway.
Which one?
The one we just came in.
No, go up and hang out. Like, get my back. Like, at least hang out behind me.
No, it's cool. I tried that already. It doesn't work.
Well, we can't keep you inside.
I missed the ranger.
Send the
Hey,
door.
you're
I'll
invisible.
have your back.
You're invisible. Like I
Alright.
can't even see your back.
Yeah, and they're never gonna see it coming when I open the frickin' door.
Just a breeze. It's
Alright.
a stiff wind.
I will open the door.
All right. No, you've already cast invisibility on me. Now I'm
That's
gonna open
okay.
the door.
You'll be invisible for a while. I'll open the door and pull the door backwards so you can. Well, wait a sec, and then you can peer around the corner. Perhaps you'll see something,
Okay.
but your head won't be
Okay.
exposed.
If it's like one goblin in there,
Yeah.
we're like quivering in our boots over this.
All right. You swing the door open, take a look inside. There are a group of 5 humanoids in there.
5 humanoids.
They look more or less human. Maybe they're a little broader through the shoulders, but they're about the right height. They are all wearing furs and clothing appropriate to the chilly conditions down here. They look to be working to build some kind of a barricade at the north end of the room. There's only 2 ways out, the way you just walked in and the way they're trying to build kind of a block or a barricade. They're busy doing what they're doing, but one of them was keeping an eye on that door and is kind of looking curiously at it. Of course, he can't see you.
Do they have any weapons at all?
The 3 that are working, their weapons are spears leaning against the wall. The one that's watching the door has his spear in his hands. And he's kind of...
Wait, I thought you said there were 5.
Well, there is one more.
Yeah.
He does not appear to be armed. He appears to be directing the others.
And are they the ones with the that are working? They're not using like pickaxes or anything like that. They're just
No, they're just dragging things around, old pieces of furniture and wooden beams and stuff like that.
What do you think? Should we attack?
Are you whispering back to us?
I'm whispering back to you. What do you think?
I think we ought to draw them here and then close the door behind them. So we would draw them through, and you would wait behind the door, and they would come to the door, and then you would close the door.
Except you would have to hide behind the door.
No, I wouldn't hide behind the door. You would hide behind the door. I would
Why
stand.
would I hide behind the door? I'm invisible. You hide behind the door. The 2 of you hide behind the door. I'll draw them out, and then when they go to wherever the sound is,
Don't draw them out. You're invisible. You can't draw them out unless you make noises.
All right. The one that was guarding is taking a few steps toward the door now.
Okay, so the room is how big?
Here, let me see. I can probably rearrange this to mimic the room. I've never had these before. They're kind of neat.
Dungeon Legos.
I'm not quite sure how that piece comes out, if it comes out. We'll find out.
Bet you it'll come out.
I don't understand what you're
Yeah, these
suggesting.
are basically dungeon
So
Legos.
here's
It's
the
kind of
door.
cool.
Yeah,
You're looking through it.
yeah.
And
Let me
then
look at my
you-
map.
You come around over here, this area right here, over here on the side. They come through on this side, they see me, they come towards me, another one peeks around, comes towards me. Then you close the door. Maybe there's 3 on the other side, maybe there's 3 on this side.
And then we're separated, and
No, we're all in the same room. We just have them flanked, and you're behind them.
Oh, I see.
And then the door, the other part of the war party, we've cut them in half essentially already.
You gotta keep
I
them
mean, that's a
separated.
reasonable point, except that now the 3 that are in the room are gonna have.
They're gonna get killed.
They're gonna get their.
I'll
their
talk to them
spears.
first.
They're gonna be able to get their spears and arm themselves, whereas right now we have one person who's armed,
Oh, you want to just ambush them?
and
It's like
Just
playing
like
Hero
Marines.
Quest.
We assume they're hostile.
That's another
Well,
thing.
that's
They might
the
not be
other issue.
hostile.
They might not be hostile.
Yeah. So if we trapped some in a room, I
If we
can
could draw,
negotiate.
and what I'm saying is, if we can draw all of them out,
So were any of us evil characters?
I'm chaotic neutral.
I'm chaotic good.
So you're crazy. You would potentially just stab them because what the hell?
Right.
Okay.
So like potentially.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm chaotic good as well.
So
These three
that pretty
figures
much
are
means
over
like running
here
up
working.
behind random things and stabbing them in the dark without knowing that they're evil is not
This
really a
one
character.
is giving
enough.
orders.
So I don't know.
I just want to negotiate with him, but not at full when they're at full strength.
And this one is wandering towards the door.
All right. Who's the one who is?
So
most...
I'm gonna be.
And there's some more hallway
How
here.
far back is the T intersection from here?
Ah, well, I can
'Cause
probably
I'm pretty
even do
sure that's
that.
where I am. Unless it's way, way, way far away. Do you need more room here?
So,
I have a diplomacy bonus of 12.
Oh, I'm the diplomat. I've got feats in deceitful, and I've got,
And I've got gather information bonus of 12.
and then I've got sense motive. This has changed a bit. I have diplomacy +9, disguise +9,
okay.
and
Okay.
I have deceitful as a feat.
I also have move silently.
Yeah.
Which could be useful. You're invisible, but you're not inaudible.
You do all the damage. You're kind of best kept as separate from the combat, and then just deal damage while I take the damage and engage them.
I kind of want to just like go up and grab the barricade and start moving it.
Well, if you want to just ambush him,
So this
Oh,
is
I
to
ambush
scale.
them. Okay. Oh, so that's where all the people are.
Yep,
And
they're at the
we
far.
need-
They're at the
Dude,
far
I
end.
need more light on this, dude. Like I can't even see it.
So
I'll get it, hold on.
how's it looking though? I think you should just keep it cycling through all of those. Little Hollister rave here.
Welcome to D&D on Shrooms.
All right. So I'm there, standing in the door. The
Don't
two of
knock
you are all the
until you
way
try
back
it.
there. All right.
Hey, I'm gonna peek my head around and look at that guy, wave at him, and then duck back around the corner.
I am going to silently back up against the wall.
Okay, so he kind of gives a sort of oi kind of sound.
Can I see him?
Oh yeah.
Well, what does he look like?
He looks like a broad-shouldered human wrapped in furs and cold winter clothing, holding a spear. And now he was just sort of curious about why that door swung open. Now he's seen like a face, and he's moving in.
All right. Well, I'm going to alter self to look exactly like him or like a member like him. So I have big furs on. I'm carrying a spear, and I'm going to walk past him through into the room.
Okay, so he's
I'm not going to even acknowledge that he's there.
okay.
I don't know where the rogue is.
All right.
Are you going to make it so I have to bump into the rogue?
No, not at all.
As soon as he's passed.
I might look at him and
Hold
go,
on,
yeah.
wait. As soon as he's passed, I'll slip into the room as well.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
also moving back like 15
And I'm moving silently. Remember.
All right. So he watches you go by,
I give him a little look, and then I keep walking
like
in.
prepared to accept that you're one of the tribe. So you make it into the room,
Yeah.
but he still thinks he saw something over here and moves a little further forward. You said you slip into the room?
Yep.
Okay. So these other guys are working. The foreman kind of guy that's giving all the orders looks up, and let's see if he realizes. Okay. He looks up, spots another guy in first, goes back to what he was doing.
Okay.
So they're still working.
All right. I walk up. What the hell are they working on?
They are building
A barricade.
A barricade.
Well,
Yes.
Where are their weapons?
They've got 3 spears that are right here leaning against the wall.
All right.
And that guy doesn't appear to have a weapon in hand.
All right. Well, I'll walk in front of the spears.
Okay. You're
Okay.
standing in front of the spears.
All right. That's what I do. Anybody? What do you got? What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm waiting
I'm gonna
around
go.
the
So-
corner and see
so
what he comes around.
Here's one of the things I'd like to kind of impose is a turn by turn. Everybody gets the chance to say what they're going to do round by round.
Sure.
And then you direct who goes first,
Sure.
who goes second.
Um,
So then we know what he's doing now.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, David? You've snuck into the room.
Yeah. I am.
You have to direct a little bit.
I'm gonna move up to. No, I can't teleport. We decided.
right.
But I do have an anti-magic aura, so that's nice. And an explosive.
The Dalai Lama told me that on my deathbed I would achieve total consciousness.
And I also have a silver gag.
So I got that going for me.
All right, so I'm gonna move up. Move me up like 3 steps forward and 1 step to the wall. Up against the
Okay.
wall. There you go. That's
So
where I'm
you
moving.
are observing. Okay, so continuing the loop around, we'll bring this guy over here. Those guys continue to work. God, this guy's... All right, they're still focused on their task.
Is there a door there?
Behind them, yes. They're basically building this barricade so that they can slide it into place and block that door.
All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I shoot an arrow at something other than a person, does that give away my invisibility?
I believe that it would count as an attack.
Making an attack.
Even if I was shooting it not at a person?
You'd just be attacking something else.
I mean, it would require an attack roll, therefore it would be an attack.
Even if you were just...
Right. I mean, that's what I'm asking. If
I
I were to throw something...
Well, I mean, you'd throw a rock. That's not an attack.
Yeah, that
if you
would
threw
be
a
an
rock
attack.
at something and initiated an attack roll, the illusion shatters.
Right, okay.
So you're just trying to make some noise or do something distracting?
I'm trying to levy a distraction of some kind.
before he does, I say
Okay,
to the
back to
unseen
you.
servant. It might not be before you. I say to the unseen servant. I say, I'll say it in some kind of strange language. I'll say it in. Where's my language?
Under common underground.
I'll say it in common dwarf. I'll say it in orc.
Oh.
I'll say, close that door over there. But I'm saying really quietly.
That one behind them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I will wait around.
Okay. So back to you. You were so this guy comes around the corner and it's like, and he sees you and raises his spear. Okay. So you just hold out your hand.
Hi,
He looks
I'm Dwemer. Do you understand me? In common?
in common. He nods slowly.
What are you trying to block?
He takes one hand off of his spear and he makes this motion. And then he waves over behind this door that's behind you, like toward that door.
There's something behind that door, or behind the door you're...
He waves in the general direction of the right-hand side. And then he does this again. Then he does this.
A monster?
He nods. He points at you, and then he points over at the staircase.
I came down from the level above.
He says, "You go back."
Well, we're looking for something, and it's maybe this way or maybe that way, but not back up.
He says, "That, ours, this, theirs. You go back."
What if we help you kill that?
He looks you over and goes, "You go back."
Oh, come on. I do tons of things. I'm a wizard.
You say that, and he, then thinks about it for a second. Then he takes a step backward and he motions with his spear toward the hallway. He says, "Wizard, go."
I'm going to help you then.
He nods.
You're not going to just stab me in the back? That would not go well for you.
He
I'll help you.
plants his spear on the ground.
All right.
"Wizard, go."
I'm coming to help. We're coming to help. I'm saying it loud enough for
Okay.
everybody to hear.
All right, so at this point...
What's your name? Oh, sorry. Your name. Dwemer?
He says, "Throck."
Throg, can you... I'm coming with Throg to help.
All right, so he says in what you guess is his native language, and step in. Now the whole work party has turned around and are watching. This guy back here asks him something, and they have a quick conversation. And then that one back...
Undercommon? Goblin?
Actually, yeah, they're speaking Undercommon. So
I can understand Undercommon.
okay, so basically the one is like, "Why are you bringing this person here?" And this guy is like, "I was on patrol and met this wizard who..." So,
Apparently they're very eloquent in Undercommon, but it's totally uncommon, so I'll switch
they don't
to-
speak Common very well at all,
Switch
no.
to Common, like, I'm here to help. It's okay.
All right. One of the leader
Can you not
raises
let
an
him know
eyebrow
that
and
you
says,
speak Undercommon?
"You speak our language."
Well, I'm a dwarf.
He says, "It has been many years since dwarves have delved these halls."
Well, I'm on vacation. It's not a good vacation.
He says,
Hold on. While all this is going on, I'm searching the room silently.
"Okay. Go ahead and roll a search. Why are you here alone? It is foolish."
27.
I'm not exactly alone.
He narrows his eyes at you. "Where are your companions?"
I lost track of them.
Well, hold on.
But what's
Bard,
your
the
name?
Bard is right there.
Yeah, I'm altered self.
Oh, your
so I
altered
look like
self. Oh, right.
Right.
Forgot about that.
He says, "I am Thrakor."
Thrakor? We don't know each other. I'm willing to help you out, but I'm not willing to reveal all my cards if you understand what I'm saying. So, if we want to work together and we agree, my companions will join me and we'll help you out.
He says, "We face a great and ravenous enemy. Why would you do this?"
We think we want to go that way, and it's in our way. So if you're going to help us out, we have the same goal.
He looks over his shoulder and he looks back at you. He says, "Everything out this door and in that direction belongs to our tribe. But the rest of the complex belongs to them."
They have hook hands.
He says, not the hands, their claws. The claws on their feet, the frost claws. Have you not seen a frost claw?
Not recently.
He says, "We do not know why they have come. They have never been here before. But for days now, they have roamed these halls, sometimes alone, sometimes in packs. They have killed many of our people. But they are but animals. They do not think. And so we trap them, and we seal hallways. And with any luck, they will proceed no further."
It sounds to me like your territory's just going to slowly be whittled away, and then you'll have nothing left.
He says, "You can offer an alternative, wizard?"
Well, we could scare them off. We could destroy them.
He says, "You wish safe passage through our tribe's territory.
You're smart.
Should you be able to destroy some of these creatures, you would have our gratitude and respect."
I like that. Sounds better than us going at it for no reason.
He says, were we to allow you to pass into the territory they have already taken, how many of these creatures would you slay?
How many are there, do you know?
He turns to his people, and one of them speaks up and says, I myself have seen 5.
All right, well, how about 3?
They look at each other, and Thrakor says, 3 is the start of friendship. We will allow you to pass.
Sorry, I missed something. What's that? What do we have 3 of? Oh, we're gonna kill 3 of them?
Yeah.
He says,
They've only got 1 hand.
but do you pass alone?
No.
Where are your cards?
I have friends. Hey, guys. I think we got an agreement here. Why don't you come join me?
What are you guys going to do?
Well, I had the unseen servant close the door.
Oh, that's right. Which, this would actually be a rather dramatic moment for that to occur. So, just as he asks you to reveal your cards, the door behind him shuts, startling all of them. They all stop and turn to look at the door.
Which way are we supposed to go? To defeat these monsters?
Through the
that door
barricade.
that just closed?
Through that door and then off in this direction.
Not the door that just closed. The other door. The door that they were.
Or this door. Either one. They said everything on this side of the complex has fallen to these creatures.
I'm in this door, so I will walk over.
Okay.
I will walk through them over to this door, and I will open it and step through.
Well,
into
can't
this
open
room.
it. It's barricaded.
No, they haven't finished the barricade yet.
Oh, they haven't.
Well, but
No, they
it's-
were still building on it.
So you're not going to say anything.
You're not going to reveal
You're
yourself.
still altered.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm
I don't know how to reveal myself. You invisiblated me.
That's true.
Attack the darkness.
That's a grand old D&D tradition right there.
Can I do that? Attack the darkness?
I assume...
You know that I've walked through that door. You saw me. You know that I'm in altered self. You know that I walked amongst them, past them.
I
to
know,
the door.
but I don't want to leave
know that
my
I've
guy
opened the door.
in the lurch. I'm not
You
a
know
dick like
that
you.
I altered self to look like one of them, and you know that I've walked forward and opened that door. Right? I'm the guy who wasn't there before. You probably heard me casting this.
Right.
So
Are you going to do anything?
Are you doing anything?
Hold on. I'm chaotic good.
Otherwise, the roleplay continues.
I'm chaotic good. I am.
Guys, we've got passage.
I attack the darkness.
So from on the other side of the door, so that they can't really see me very well.
Okay.
I say, just come on through and stop dilly dallying.
Well, he just appeared.
I just appeared.
So,
No, you didn't just appear. Did you?
yeah, I just said that I attacked the darkness.
all right.
No,
So,
you can't just attack the darkness.
Well, if I can't just attack the darkness, then I don't know how to appear myself. So then I just stay disappeared.
All right, then I'll shout back in Elven. I'll say,
Okay.
just come on through and keep your invisibility up and stop messing around. Come on.
they all turn around upon hearing a voice in Elven. They're confused now.
I walk through the door and I slap him across the face.
That'll make you invisible.
I won't consider that an attack.
I'll consider it an attack. What do I need to roll?
Are you actually making a physical, like, hand-to-hand attack?
Yes.
Just to get rid of invisibility.
Okay, roll a d20.
You're visible now.
Yeah, you're visible.
14 plus what do I have to strength?
Yeah, it's a
14
touch
plus
attack. It would hit.
16.
All right, so you appear.
But the door's kind of halfway closed.
Yeah. And this guy's really the only one that sees you appear, and then he snaps back and looks at you, and he says, You are more than one wizard.
I met these guys in a bar. Just saying. They've been reliable so far.
Sort of.
But look,
At least
we
one
have
of
an
us
agreement.
has been.
I'm going to kill 3. If we die, no skin off your teeth.
He says, "We will await the stories of battle of these great wizards."
Cool. See ya.
How
Can
can
you
you
speak
fail
Undercommon, too, as
Wait.
well.
with such magic?
Can you, before I go, can you tell me about this area
He nods.
and where you think these things are?
He says, "Through this door,"
They
which
have a
you
nest
can
or
plainly
something.
see now because the two of you were
By the
standing.
way, did I see anything when I was
Sorry.
searching the room while I was invisible?
Nothing really useful. They had already smashed up the furniture and things that used to be in here, and were using them as kind of a bodice to build their barricade.
Pretty sweet barricade.
He says, "We can tell you much. Through the door, there's a great room, and beyond that room is a hallway. That hallway can lead to many other places, including the stairs." And he points upward and kind of casts his eyes down to her residence. "But you see,"
Her?
he says, "yes, the ice sorceress, she who rules the grounds above. We go to her at times to ask for boons. Sometimes she grants them, and sometimes she destroys those who disturb her.
Cool.
She is a capricious sorceress. We try not to ask for much. There are 2 stairways to her realm, one on either side. I am afraid the one in that direction has fallen to the frost claws."
Why don't we go that way then? Do you know if these things have tried to attack this she?
"We are not certain. It would be foolish for the frost claws to attempt such a thing. However, they are but animals and would not know better."
Wait, so she rules over the frost claws, or she?
"She rules over everything above."
So why don't we just kill her instead of killing the 3 frost claws?
Well, if the frost claws have her barricaded in, we can kill them and then go talk to her, see what's going on. She's not really our end goal, is she?
I mean, maybe she's the one that's,
She may be one of Hollister's apprentices.
or she may be Hollister.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if he's up for drag that often, but possible.
Or she
Yeah.
may be the one, like, she may be the one torturing Hollister. Like, she may be the person that we have to kill to...
She sounds evil to me.
Yeah.
She sounds really cold. And cruel.
She's as cold
Employing
as
skeleton
ice.
arms that freeze you to death. I think that maybe we should just go kill her. Or at least find out what
I
she's all
agree.
about.
I agree.
We probably need a little bit more information, but these animal things are definitely going to attack us.
All right. So you want to find one of the animal things first?
If we take these guys out, we may be able to get in good enough with this tribe of underdudes.
Underdudes. I like
And they-
that.
And they can guide. They can at
Underdudes.
least guide us around. They know the area.
All right.
Yeah.
How's it going, royal Underdudes? Okay.
Exactly.
So
All right. I'm following you. You know what you're doing.
I'm going to give my unseen servant an arrow
Okay.
to hold on to. And then are we in a... That's the new room we're in?
Yeah, this is you're coming out of the room you were in into this room.
I'm going to have the unseen servant walk into that room with the arrow.
Okay.
Walk into our room.
Just like an arrow floating through the air.
Just like an arrow floating. So the unseen servant moves into the room. This room seems pretty empty.
I
Standing
search it.
over here by this door, and actually this particular door is open. Standing over here by this door are a couple more of those tribesmen. Standing guard.
Oh, so we don't want to go in that direction.
Well, hey,
No.
look at them. Hey, the ice claws, they're behind you or that
They
way.
point this way.
So we go that way.
All right.
All right, I searched the room.
Was that a 1?
That was a 1.
Yeah, pretty much.
That thing is not doing well for you. You got to train it.
The other one was the one that was
That
failing
die is
before. This
mean.
is the one that I need to throw it onto there. Boom.
6, baby.
Yeah.
Rolling rocks today.
I'm searching again.
It's a double secret search.
All right, so we turn right.
Okay, I really like these dungeon.
Do you have
Legos.
another tile like
These
that?
are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Can we grab it so we can extend this out a little bit longer?
These dungeon Legos are kind of awesome.
You gonna grab it? Or you have it behind here? Is that pegboard? It is pegboard.
Yeah, it's just plain pegboard, but it fits perfectly.
No, that's awesome. I won't.
Dungeon Legos.
Do you know what system this is?
I don't. Jim must have bought them.
Jim, do you know what system this is?
Because I certainly
I think it's awesome.
would love to. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, these are pretty cool.
Haha!
Ah,
There's more.
yes.
More toys.
Ah,
We're not here to play D&D, we're just playing Legos.
Give the DM more toys. Yes. Yes.
So, what are these called, Jim?
Bites the dust, another one does.
That's a weird name for a product.
I can't remember what they're called. But if you need a long hallway, there's
Yes.
one. The idea is you make them out beforehand and you just switch them out.
Right, right. But since this is our first go round using them, these are perfect for
Well,
this.
I'm going to get to the ice chambers.
Yeah. Oh, that will most definitely occur. All right.
Come on, man, no spoilers. I haven't watched the end of Game of Thrones yet.
Oh,
Just kidding. It was terrible.
Spoiler alert, a lot of people die.
It's just like Hamlet.
Does Jon Snow pout?
no, that would be a Strange Brew with Doug and Bob McKenzie. That was just like Hamlet. Right down to having Elsinore Brewery.
Yeah.
All right. So, where did their intrepid adventurers? So you're heading down this hallway.
I'm definitely not going first.
I am.
Where did the other door?
first.
Ah, there it is.
I was going to say, he's got trap sense.
It's
Yes.
another
When the
doorway.
spike comes out of the wall to hit him in the head, he's got a chance to dodge it.
I've got a higher AC
See
and
that
I've also
ease?
got a higher hit points.
These puppies are 3D.
So
printed.
what? So that's going to be really helpful when we get to combat.
All right. So you
But
guys
for
start
searching
to
stuff-
head down the hallway.
All right, the rogue is first.
Ah, let the rogue go first.
Always let the rogue go first.
Looks dangerous. You go first.
All right.
Exactly.
I
So
search for traps.
okay,
Careful with that.
nat 20. Beautiful. The tribesmen have rigged this door with some traps that are actually fairly obvious, like, you know, almost bear trap kind of things. Like if you were to step in it, it'd be good. But yeah, they've got this door blocked off with traps and a tripwire. They've also got a tripwire strung across the hallway here, connected to a bunch of old rusty pieces of armor, so that anything hits it, it'll make a whole lot of noise.
Okay. Hey guys, there's a tripwire over here. Be careful. Step over it. I don't know. Do we want to try going into that door?
I mean, it
No.
wouldn't. Okay.
No?
No,
Just keep
let's
going.
just step over the trip.
All right, go. Step over
it's
the tripwire.
barricaded, yeah. Nothing's going to come through it.
All right, so you guys move up the hall. You step over the tripwire here, and as you get close to the hall, all right.
You just rolled a 20, didn't you?
This is why I really like passive perception. So,
Well, we're waiting for
Remember,
something to happen.
I have trap
Right.
sense too.
that's right. As you are getting close to this thing, you hear something. So, off to the left, up that hallway, you heard a clacking sound, and then it stopped.
All right. Unseen servant, still carrying the arrow. Move into that hallway. So that the unseen servant moves here
Okay.
and stands there with the arrow.
Why there?
All right. So
Oh,
the
yeah,
unseen
okay.
servant takes the arrow out into the hallway. Make a listen check.
Make a what?
Listen check.
A listen check.
Yeah.
Listen. My listen wisdom is 1.
Your listen is 1.
Yes.
Well, give it a shot anyway. See what the dice is.
Dice
So
says
it's 12.
Sir.
Actually, decent enough for this thing. All right. You hear a noise, almost like a snorting, sniffing noise.
Well, obviously there's some kind of snorting. Oh, I don't hear that. Never mind. I don't hear it.
Yeah, well, you're at the front of the column, so you barely made it out. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna warn them.
Okay.
There's
You
a
know,
snorting sound.
like make some hand gestures or something.
All right. I will go ahead and advance to here.
Whoa. Okay.
So,
That's when
hold on.
things
This
get
is-
interesting.
This is
Oh wait, I'm in
dumb
the wrong spot.
because I will remind you that I do also have sneak attack.
When you flank,
So, yeah. What you can do is if
Flank.
you get on either side of them,
This thing.
they're flat-footed, and you.
But
will
this
hit
is
your
a magical thing, isn't it?
well, anyway, I walk out into the middle of
It
the hallway.
might be.
No, it's
With
a
that
mechanic.
door to
Oh,
my
you mean
back.
The monster.
All right,
Monster
so
is
you've
the
got
magical
that
thing.
door to your back.
Maybe, but it doesn't matter. You flank it anyway, unless it can't be outflanked. If it has uncanny dodge, I believe, or evasion.
All right, so this opens up.
Maybe I'm thinking of it different.
And down that hall from
Do
you.
need a piece like
Yeah,
that? I
that'll
like that.
Yeah, like that'll work. Down the hall is a large quadrupedal creature. It's not exactly a displacer beast, no. It's a large quadrupedal creature that is definitely sort of reptilian in visage. It's got the kind of long, slender body of a feline creature covered in snow-white scales. Its eyes are almost glowing in the darkness. And on its rear legs are these huge, like gleaming bone claws. Front legs are kind of clawed too, but not as dagger-like as the rear ones.
It's one of those.
The creature is just staring first at the arrow, and then as you walk around, it stops and stares at you. It doesn't seem to be making any forward movement, but it sort of gets this focus, and it's looking you right in the eyes, and it starts tapping those rear claws.
I will back up to this doorway and say, "Unseen servant, stand by that door."
All right, what are you guys doing?
Remember, I'm a dude with the spear.
Yes.
I am
I'm gonna run.
readying spells. So if I see something come in front of that hallway, bang.
All right, so you're taking a ready action.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm also going to take a ready action with my short bow
Ah, okay.
with the explosive arrow.
Nice. So the creature stands there, tapping
Does
on
not
the ground, and then, without warning, skips to the side out of your field of vision. And you can hear it. And then in the distance you hear,
Okay, I'll turn around and say, "Unseen servant, open that door."
this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hey, I think he's getting reinforcements. Maybe not a good idea to invite more people to this party.
Okay, the unseen servant opens that door.
All right. Behind the door. Behind the door is a 30 by 30 room. We could lay it out if we need to. 30 by 30 room, the door on the opposite end of which has been smashed down. This room has been ransacked. There's a couple of bodies covered in frost that look like tribesmen. They look like they've been eviscerated and partially eaten. But on the left-hand wall of the room is a set of stairs leading upward. And there's light coming down from that stairwell.
Oh, that's
This
the-
way.
That's the
This way.
Do we really want those things behind us?
well, but that's the way to the sorceress, to the frost sorceress. Yeah, let's go.
I'm not here to offer counsel. I'm just here to kill you.
Let's go. Come on.
Okay, so you guys head through,
Okay.
Close the door.
close the door, and you head up the stairs. All right. At the top of the stairs, you find another body. This one is one of the frost claws, and it appears to be frozen solid.
Can I break it up, kick it a little bit?
Yeah, sure. You
So,
kick on it.
So it's one of these. It's one of these big cat creatures.
one of these big
Cat-like lizard creatures, and it's
How did it die?
it has
Knowledge Arcana?
yeah. Go ahead.
That will be 11 plus 11 plus 11. 22.
So 22. Taking a look at the creature, you are able to tell your companion exactly how it died. It appears as if the creature was frozen from the inside out. Most definitely a magical attack. If it had simply died from the elements.
You would have
Right.
from the outside in.
And
Makes
so
sense.
the creature was at the top of the stairs when whatever killed it, and it just sort of froze where it was.
Hold, wait. Go.
It didn't really even have time to fall or anything, but at some point someone pushed the body over, and it's...
So,
Search the
those
stairway.
stairs are probably trapped.
Wait, this is. Wait, we're
As the
assuming.
spell went off and killed that thing, those stairs are probably trapped.
You think that's the stairs and not
I mean,
some
something in
capricious some capricious sorceress that did it?
Or both. She may have set the trap. I don't see the sorceress. Let's check for traps.
Okay, well I'm gonna check for mechanical traps. 22.
You
23.
got it. The stairs themselves don't appear to be trapped. The room, however, now that you're taking a look at things up on the landing, the room is very interesting. The stairs come up. In fact, I can visualize it for you. See how best to do this with the materials we have at hand. The stairs come up. The body of the creature is right here at the top of the stairs. The room sort of doubles back on itself a bit. Doubles back on itself a bit. There's another room through a door with no doorway over there. There is a doorway here. With no door. But the interesting thing is here at this end of the hallway. Actually, let's go up. Is here at the end of the hallway. There is a fireplace in that corner, and burning in it is a bright blue fire that's radiating cold into the room.
You have something that can kill that fire?
Nope.
Does the fact that I have an anti-magic aura mean that I'm not feeling the cold as much?
It could protect you a bit.
Also, your resistance that's in that ring will do it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we just don't get next to the fire.
Right. Well, obviously, we don't, stick our hands in the fire. That would be a silly thing to do.
Who knew you couldn't stick your hand in the hot oil?
All right. So you said there's a door. You said there was a door behind us and the door in front of us.
Yeah, here. I'll put the empty doorway here so you can see where it is.
All right. Let's look. Which door? The one in front of us? Let's look through the one in front of us.
This one?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
going to silently move and just kind of peek my head around.
So you peek your head around. You're looking into a kitchen.
Is there food?
In fact, there is. And there are cooks and bakers. They all look, at first glance, human, and then you realize that their bodies are made of perfectly smooth, kind of translucent ice.
Cool.
They are moving about the kitchen, preparing food in baking, pastries, all that sort of thing.
You can't make me invisible anymore, can you?
Is that what you asked me to do for you? You turn back towards me and say that?
I'm metagaming. I'm asking you. You can't make me invisible anymore, can you?
Well, that kind of metagaming, I don't.
You don't do.
You don't know. You'd have to ask me.
Hey, can you make me invisible again?
No.
Fair enough.
That was difficult.
It really was.
Are we all going to be up at the top of those stairs?
Are you?
Yeah, let's.
I
I'm
knew-
not there.
I know he moved up. I
Yeah,
didn't
not
know
the
if
top
you
of the
guys
stairs.
moved up.
I'll go look around the other doorway.
Is it clear?
There's people here. I don't know if they're quite.
Is there a door that can be closed?
No, this is just an open entryway.
Okay.
All right.
Is there information that I can gather?
Well, gather information is really used to work a crowd.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to get information out of people, that's what gather information is for.
Okay. So then I'm gonna say, "Hi, folks."
All right.
So I'm in that other. I say hello.
Almost as one, all of the icy-looking servants stop and look at you, and then go back to what they were doing.
I'm just gonna shadow you guys for a while. I'm new here. I'm learning.
They seem to be focused on their tasks.
Okay.
Okay. Hello?
Wait. Oh, you're at the.
So
other
you're
door,
yelling into this other room?
Sure.
That room appears to be a sitting room. You find that this fireplace right here is a double-sided fireplace, and it's burning with the blue flame too. The room is 30 by 30. There's some extremely comfortable looking couches and a couple of big, overstuffed chairs pointed towards the fire as if that's where you would stay warm. There are bookshelves lining two of the walls. And even though they're kind of covered with a thin layer of frost, there are hundreds of books. There is another doorway in the northeast wall that leads into a dark room. But like I said, this looks like quite a well-appointed sitting room. Aside from the fact that it's freezing in here, it would be fairly comfortable.
Well, then what I do, I go in there and I cast Detect Magic, and I look at the books. Any of the books magical?
3 of them stick out immediately.
But then I go over to one of them, the first one that's the closest,
Sure.
and I'll take it out.
This is when the bard dies.
So
It's like that book in Harry
You
Potter.
pull the
second or
book
third book where
off-
it just eats everyone.
you pull the book off the shelf
Like Army of Darkness.
and knock off a little of the frost. It's got a bright red leather cover with sort of gold inlays on it, and it declares itself on the cover to be the Manual of Puissant Skill at Arms.
All right, I'll put that in my bag. I'll go over to the next magic book.
All right. Down the row, you see a section of books that all have various arcane titles, but the one that actually shows up as being magical in and of itself is a spell book. Inside, you see there are a number of arcane spells that it'll take you a while to study and learn, but the book itself is radiating magic.
I'll put that in my pack.
All right. The last one requires you to get on a ladder, one of those rolling ladders on the track
I'll
around
have
the
the unseen
bookshelf.
servant climb up the ladder and take the
Oh.
book down.
Okay. So the unseen servant flitters up, grabs the last book, and brings it down to you. This book has what looks eerily like human skin as the leather binding, and it declares itself to be.
I drop it immediately.
Okay. Yeah, that probably not a bad idea.
Okay.
All right.
Has anything happened in my room, or are the people still just doing their thing?
They're still just doing their thing. They're still just doing their thing at the moment. You can start to smell some of the food that's being prepared. It looks like they're getting ready for quite a large meal.
What's the meal?
So, looking at what they're preparing, they're eating babies. They're eating lots and lots of babies.
down here.
That smells really good. Long pork, never really cared for it.
No, not the long pork. Okay. So, taking a look, it looks like venison. Like they've got a big.
I mean, I asked them, "What's the meal?"
All right, the nearest worker turns towards you, kind of regards you for a second, and says, "Will you be staying?"
Uh-huh.
She puts down.
Forever.
Yeah. She puts down the tray of pastries that she had just taken out of the oven, and she starts to walk out of the room.
I follow her.
Okay, you follow her. None of the other workers are paying you the least bit notice as she walks into a rather large sort of butler's pantry.
Uh-huh.
There's, all of the
That's disappointing.
things that they need. There's a couple of other workers in here preparing plates and silverware and things. And she walks up to one of the workers, taps him on the shoulder, and then points to you and says, "We have another guest." This one turns around and is dressed in sort of the kind of outfit you would expect for the major domo of a wealthy person's home. And his features, while the rest of them look, fairly young, his features look like a more mature individual. And he steps towards you with a little bit more animation. And he says, "Is the lady expecting you?"
Yes, she is, but I seem to have lost my way. Can you can you show me the way to the dining room?
He says, "Oh, it is not time for dinner yet. That would be inappropriate. Allow me to show you to one of the guest rooms."
Oh, thank you.
So,
Hey, Where are you going?
So you
Be
two,
right back.
you two are in the still in the study with the books and stuff. And so from where you're at, you know, you've got the magical books you found.
I've got two of them.
You've got two of them.
I'm gonna say, where's the rogue? And I'm gonna walk back into the where the rogue used to be.
Sure. You walk back into the room where the stairwell came up, and he's not there.
Is there a bunch of people in this room working?
There are a bunch of people working in the kitchen. Yeah.
Do they look like me?
No, they
Alright,
look
guys.
like they're made of living ice.
All right. Well, I walk past them, looking around for the rogue.
They ignore you. What are you doing?
You guys are just wandering off.
Splitting the party.
This is gonna be interesting. Who gets eaten first?
Sang.
I'm gonna have a seat on the couch.
All right. You sit down on the couch in the reading room. It is actually pretty a little cold, pretty comfy.
I'll cool my hands by the fire.
Yeah.
I can tell by the look on the DM's face that this is just so not the way this is supposed to be going.
That's when it gets entertaining, though, is when it goes off the rails.
These guys are just wandering around.
They're just wandering around. Just wandering. All right. So, back to you.
Yes.
He walks you out of the butler's pantry into what you imagine is probably the reception room of the house.
Okay.
It's a large room. You can see the double doors that lead out of the house ahead of you, and on either side there are smaller doors that lead to some rooms. He walks you toward one of them now. He opens the door with a ring of keys that he's got attached to his belt, and inside you find exactly what he described. It's a guest room. It's got a big canopy bed. It's got sitting furniture. It's got, you know, a wash basin and a do your business basin, and you know, aside from the uncomfortable cold of the room, which you're not feeling as much as your companions are, this seems like the kind of place a wealthy person would put up their guests.
What does he do with the ring of keys when he is done opening the lock?
He puts it back on his belt.
Puts it back on his belt. I'm going to use sleight of hand to try and
Go for it.
take the ring of keys. 8 plus 11 is 19.
19. Excellent. All right. You manage to swipe the key ring off of his
Here's your
belt.
wrecking ball.
Do I walk around the corner right then?
So, you find yourself in the butler pantry, and there's another two people in there preparing stuff for dinner. There's an open door to the south and a closed door to the north, and then a passage into another room ahead of you.
I'll go that way.
Okay. All right. So, on the far side of the butler's pantry, looking for your friend, you find yourself standing in a storeroom. It's about the exact same size as the kitchen that you left two rooms ago, and it is full of containers and casks and barrels and things, all of them bearing marks of various merchants in Waterdeep. All of these things apparently came quite recently from the overworld.
I will mark each one of these down. That's
All right.
probably going to take a while.
So you take a note of
Yeah,
what you found down here.
Yes.
For
For later reference.
some of the wines and liqueurs are kind of expensive.
I'm just one of them.
Sure.
I want to know not the materials, but which merchants.
Which merchants? That's good information. So as you're getting all of that information written down, the butler asks you, will there be anything else?
What time is dinner?
He pulls out a rather complicated clockwork device from his pocket and says, in approximately 1 hour, sir.
Thank you.
He kind of gives a bow and walks back out. Back to you. So you're sitting in the reading room, and one of these living ice people walks into the room, over to one of the bookshelves, and starts to arrange a couple of the books, and then kind of stops, like just realizing you're sitting there, and then turns around, and she says, "I did not realize we had more guests."
Is your mistress around?
She nods. She says, "The mistress will be at dinner. She's indisposed at the moment."
Okay.
She says, "May I get you a drink?"
Why not?
She walks over to a decanter, a drink, and then she brings it over to you in a little crystal glass. And she says, "The mistress keeps this specially for her guests from elsewhere. She understands the cold can be uncomfortable." She puts the drink down. She says, "If you need anything else," she points to a string hanging from the ceiling, "just ring."
Okay. Well. Guys.
All right. So
He's still copying stuff down.
you're copying things down.
I'm kind of got my ear listening down the hallway there.
Sure.
I'm not hearing any of that clicking.
No, not
Good.
from here.
Good enough.
All right, I'm gonna search the room that I was led into. 20.
So there's a Bible in the nightstand. No, I'm just kidding. So it says Gideon on it. So the room has clothes. It has linens. It has all sorts of things in it at your disposal. But unless you're going to start pocketing like the silver wash basin, there's nothing of a whole lot of value.
Okay.
There is a door on the opposite side of the room that leads into another chamber. It's not locked.
And is there? So it leads into another room,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same room, same type of room.
If you want to take a look, yes, it is another guest room laid out very similar, slightly different furniture. It's
Okay.
decorated a little differently.
I'm gonna leave the room and go back into the hallway.
Okay.
And so this is just like a hallway with a bunch of guest rooms, right?
Yes.
And is there any evidence, like if I look up and down, is there anything that stands out, anything that's different? Is there a kitchen, or not the kitchen, but like a dining room or anything other than just guest
The
rooms?
dining
that I can
room
see?
must be on the other side of the butler's pantry because there's nothing on this side but more guest rooms.
Okay. Then I'm going to go back toward what I
Okay.
think is the dining room.
So as you walk into the butler's pantry, you catch sight of your ally, the bard, who is taking notes.
Hey. What? That's weird.
Why are you cataloging someone's pantry?
I'm not in here.
I'll put the paper away.
What's going on?
So I found my way to the guest rooms. I've got keys that can get us into any room I want. And dinner is in an hour.
What's the fanciest looking key?
Fanciest looking key. Pull out the
You
keys
look
and
through the key ring. There's a couple of keys on there that are pretty ornate. The rest of them are pretty basic, the kind of lock you could pick with your eyes closed. But there's a couple of them that do look kind of fancy.
And do they have any labels on them or anything like that?
None of them are labeled.
Okay.
Ask us whatever one's the most elaborate. Ask somebody where this key goes to, or where both the keys go.
I'm not going to do that because I'm not an idiot.
I mean, they know we shouldn't have the keys, but
Yeah. Come on, let's go check out the dining room.
Okay.
Okay.
You walk into the dining room. There's a huge table. The table itself is 35 feet long, with all sorts of food already sat out on the table. There's places for 20 people set. And then at the end of the table, there is a much, much larger, almost throne-like chair. And the wood of that chair is decorated with what looks like silver and gold inlay. There's a couple of servants in here finishing up the preparations, but they really don't make any effort to engage you.
Alright, I'm going to search for anything out of place, anything that might give us any clues.
I cast detect magic.
It's 18. You cast what?
Detect magic.
I'm gonna blah.
So.
So, some of the food on the table is radiating magic. Not all of it, but a few dishes.
Like a few individual plates, or like
A few of the serving bowls and platters full of food.
I'm looking at the chair.
Ah, the chair does not radiate magic, but it does look like it would fetch a handy price.
I walk around to the back of the chair.
Sure.
What doors are nearby the back of the chair?
Ah, okay. There are 2 doors on that wall. The northernmost is a rather plain sort of wooden door with iron bindings. The southernmost is a little bit fancier. There's a little more decoration and filigree to that door.
I try and open it.
Any of them require locks and keys?
They both appear to be locked.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna unlock it.
All right. So the fancy key turns, the door swings open, and inside, this room is no bigger than a closet. It's about 10 feet wide, 20 feet deep, and it's absolutely featureless other than the joining between the stones.
Search for secret doors.
Oh, alright, I'm gonna search for secret doors. 16.
All right. As you're searching around, trying to find if there are secret doors in here, you hear a voice that seems to come from all around. It says, "Quite inhospitable of you to be poking around my residence."
Do I hear it?
You all hear it.
Oh, he hears it too. Well, who are you? Was it a feminine voice?
It was a feminine voice.
Okay.
So you hear this coming from behind you, like off outside the room.
Sorry, we got lost.
I'll go sit down at the table.
All right, so you walk back out and sit down at the table. What are you doing?
I'm saying, sorry, we got lost.
All right. One of them says, or I'm sorry, the feminine voice says, "It's impolite for you to go poking about like that."
So she's
Can you tell me how to find my way back?
She says, "Go into the dining room, all of you."
Okay. I close.
So you're already seated at the table.
I close the door.
You walk in.
I go back.
What are you going to
to
do?
the dining room.
Pick up my drink and go into the diner.
Which way?
So yeah, judging by the direction the voice was coming from, you make your way through the kitchen. This now, all of the staff are standing like with their backs to their stations, looking, watching you go, and one by one they all kind of point. So you walk through the kitchen into the butler's pantry and see the gentleman I described earlier, the one that looks sort of older and like the main butler, and he's pointing sternly into this room.
I'll sit there and start looking through the book of magic spells.
We're all so
I'm looking for a second level spell. Do I hit the second levels?
Look for a teleport. Look for a teleport spell.
It's still
Yeah.
going to be harder than
Teleport. Okay. So, as you walk in and you're looking for a second level spell,
I've got my feet up on the table.
there is a whirlwind of
I say, get your feet off the table.
there's a whirlwind of flash of white and an extremely beautiful human woman appears.
I like them with beards.
She said something you can hold on to. She appears next to the big chair. And she looks. She says, "Are you enjoying the fruits of my library?"
Yes. By the way, is there any wine here?
She
I take out a
smiles.
couple of gold pieces and put it on the table.
Oh man.
Wow. In how many different ways are you going to insult this woman?
She,
I apologize for my friend here. He's
I look under the table. Is there anything under the table?
he doesn't quite
just chair
understand.
legs. So she raises a hand, and a serving girl comes in with a tray with wine and glasses. And
I'm gonna make a diplomacy check to see
Sure.
whether I actually have any capability of talking to her in any kind of 12 plus
and what's your bonus?
plus 12 is 24.
So what would you like? What tack would you like to take with her?
I would like to take a tack of being very obsequious and apologizing for our for losing our way, and we were simply so excited to become a part of this glorious festive occasion that we let our heads get the better of us.
She says, "Your words are sweet and your tongue is deft, but none of you were invited."
Yes, we were.
Is the dwarf there?
Yeah, he has arrived.
Where we don't even know where we are.
We're in the dining room.
Well, we are in a dining room.
This is the Ice Capades Queen. By the way, we're looking for a guy. We're looking for a guy.
Yeah, we're looking for a wizard.
We're looking for a wizard, yes.
When you say the word wizard, she stops. She says, "Wizard? What wizard?"
This guy Hollister, we've heard that he. Should I not have said that?
Well, we've heard that Hollister was kidnapped.
She says, "I believe that he is dead and good riddance."
Oh, why is he bad?
She says,
That's debatable.
She says,
Maybe.
he was not the most stable of teachers.
Oh, say more.
So I would prefer not to speak of him, and I would prefer to have my home to myself and those guests that have been invited.
Oh.
It's bad enough that the primitives that live underneath this castle come up and beg me for things like some sort of second-rate god.
Oh, well, that's actually why we're here, because we're trying to get rid of those primitives.
She says, "Get rid of them."
Well, I mean, we want to not get rid of them like permanent, like get rid of, but just, have them not be a nuisance to you anymore. So please tell us how we could assist you in that endeavor. We're quite the adventurers.
She says, "One of the perks of being down here is that very few adventurers ever make it. I prefer solitude and the company of my people." And she waves her hand toward a couple of the servants.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm not one to waste resources. If you could prove your usefulness, I might forgive your lapse of manners and allow you to leave with your lives and perhaps some of the information you seek.
I close the book shut, put it down on the table, take the other manual out, put it on the table, and say, "Well, I think we're all on the same page here. I think we all want to go prove ourselves, not only to you, but to other members of this complex here beneath the Undermountain. However, in doing so, what sort of So, what sort of sign of gratitude might you have for trade if we go down and make things easier for you here by eliminating a few of your foes?
Well, hold on.
And
hold
by
on,
the way,
hold
I
on.
have a single
Eliminating-
question I'd like to ask. Where was the last time you saw Hollister? And what place was he at?
You're getting a little ahead of yourself.
She says, well, you're very forward.
He's very forward.
She says, the last I saw Halaster was... She stops and thinks about it for a moment and says, it would have to have been at least 200 years ago.
Ooh, that's it's quite a while then.
To some.
And the last time you saw him was 200 years ago, and the last place you saw him was in the study.
He had his own chambers and study and an entire complex. He was quite the builder, quite the architect down here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Did you have the visions as well?
She says, I heard his scream.
And
We don't have any connection to this man. You were his apprentice?
She nods. Indeed I was.
It's drawn us here.
She stops and says, now that is interesting. Tell me, what else did you see?
I don't remember.
So you describe your dream to her. I'm assuming you tell her the truth.
Yes, I tell her that what my dream was like.
So all three of you describe your versions of the dream.
I described my version of the dream, yes.
Also, I think that it drove him mad. Just throwing that out there.
I concur.
She says, so you were invited
Rolled a
below,
20. Yep,
just not
definitely
by
agree.
me.
No,
Say again?
we're
Sorry,
on.
say it again.
She said you were invited below, just not by me.
Yes, we're there's a higher calling we have here.
Tell me what exactly you would like us to do to make your life a little bit easier.
She says leave would be on the top of my list, but if you insist on doing me some sort of service before you do that, I have the perfect task for you. And should you complete it, perhaps I can help you. You are searching to find out whether or not Halaster is dead. I am guessing that he is. But that dream, you must admit it was a bit ambiguous. Just because a wizard shows terror does not mean the wizard is dead. Until we see a body, we won't be sure, will we? You're going to need more than these paltry weapons you're carrying if you're going to delve deeper into Undermountain. I can help you with that.
Most excellent.
She says,
I will take my rapier off and put it on the table.
She says, bright-eyed and eager are we? Well, she says, as you can see, and she waves her hands around, she says, I like my realm the way you see it. Cold and devoid of humans. But of recent, there have been changes. Since the vision, creatures never before seen here have been appearing. And certain creatures that are antithetical to the way I like to decorate.
Like the one on the back porch.
She says, that one was a bit of a nuisance, yes. But at least it is in keeping with my idea of climate. Down in the catacombs below, and I'm guessing you didn't make it this far, or you might not have made it here at all, is a creature that rivals even my power. And it is attempting to make its way into my realm.
Well, what kind of creature is it? Is it from another dimension?
With voyeuristic intention. She says, it is a creature from another plane, and it wields the elemental force of fire, the one force that I am loath to engage myself. Should you destroy it, I have the means to teleport you anywhere in Undermountain you wish to go.
Well, I would like to go to Hollister's old compound, where the place that you say you last saw him.
She says, it's your funeral, but consider it done. And you wish me to do something with this? And she points at the rapier.
Well, I suppose if we're going to be tackling things a little beyond our means, I would like a little magical help. By the way, we found a ring. Perhaps you can tell us what the ring is about.
She says, did you?
On the Ingray.
Have it on your finger?
She says, may I see it? You're going to show her the ring? Her eyes go wide, and she holds up her hand and has an identical ring on it.
What?
She says,
We're
there were
sisters,
only...
yo.
She says, there were only 8 of these made. How did you come by that one?
Like I said, we're adventurers.
She says, then maybe you are the ones to find out what happened to the old bastard. All right. She says, that ring has a few powers you may not be aware of. And she explains how to use them.
Thank you.
And
So does this mean that I have the ability to teleport?
she says, it means you do not have the restriction. However, the ability would be quite useful, wouldn't it?
It would be.
She snaps her fingers, and one of her servants comes in, like, immediately with a silver tray and a scroll case on it. She says, this scroll will allow you and your companions to utilize the teleportation ability of that ring twice. Use it wisely.
I'll take the scroll, put it in my pack.
We're letting him take it?
All right. So, because my brain is addled and I do not remember clearly, you have a rapier. What is do you carry a hand weapon of any kind?
Scroll of teleport.
A light mace.
A light mace. All right. And what do you carry as a melee weapon?
I have
just daggers,
Not really
or
much use of me.
I have a
Actually,
dagger, a
swinging
short
it.
sword, a
Yeah.
rapier, and a short bow, and studded armor. Like,
all right. So she waves a hand, and the rapier you placed on the table and the rapier in your scabbard both hover up into the air in front of her. She says some words in the arcane language of magic, and then returns the weapons to you. Each of those weapons are now +2 magical items, so they'll add 2 to your attack rolls and 2 to your damage rolls. And then she takes a look at your mace and says, you don't do much with that, do you?
Good for hammering in tent stakes.
She smiles and says, then perhaps something else would be more useful to you.
I think it would be
what
a
did
yes.
you have in mind?
All right, she brings up her hand and opens it, and in addition to the bone ring, you see she's got a different ring on each finger, and she starts to look at them.
Oh, you can only use one at a time.
Yeah. And she says, perhaps this one? And she pulls it off and hands it to you. She says, that ring will offer you protection from the element of fire.
Probably useful. What is this thing that's you want us to go take out?
Just
She
fire
says-
demon, fire elemental.
She says, it is a demon of flame, and I want it gone.
Something from not this plane of existence.
Okay.
Okay.
So she says, it's in one of the caverns below my estate.
Can you just teleport us to that cavern? It would make our lives a little easier.
How are we gonna get back?
We've got this. We can teleport back. We've
She
got the
says,
skull.
certainly. I can send you directly there. I'm going to miss that ring.
Before you send us off, we should probably like eat something.
She says, oh, absolutely.
That wine actually smells really good. A little...
She turns.
You want to know what I can do? I can drink and nothing.
She turns her to her butler, who has appeared out of nowhere, and says, the other guests, we won't be needing them tonight. Have them sent back to the overworld with, my apologies.
Might want to leave the keys.
Oh, yeah. Here you go.
Just really doing your best to piss her off.
No, okay. I'm good.
You can just like-
are you like whispering
You
that
drop
to me?
these.
Are you whispering that to
Yeah, I
me?
whisper
All right.
that.
So I sleight of hand, find a way to set them somewhere.
To
that
put the
is-
key.
To put the keys somewhere.
I don't know how those got there. They fell in my pocket.
Like next to the door. And fuck.
Really?
Hey, look over there, chink.
So,
I have a plus
She-
12 modifier. Doesn't matter though when it's a 1, does it?
she totally notices. There's actually,
She's gonna teleport you into a
yeah.
world.
She notices, but she's already engaged you to do something she considers useful, so she will ignore it at the moment. All right.
Notice how he said at the moment.
So I take it that you're all going to take advantage of her hospitality, do some resting and eating, and then you've asked her to teleport you to where this creature is.
Yep.
So you're going to just go directly for the objective.
Is that a stupid idea?
No, not at all. I just like to make it sound like it is so you get nervous.
I mean,
It's a DM thing.
surely.
No.
It is a
like
DM thing.
surely like we're not gonna find any like items along the way that are gonna help us kill it,
No,
right?
not like a ring that gives you an magic shell or anything.
We've
like that.
got rings. We've got rings that do that.
I got 2 hands, buddy. Only one of them's got a ring.
Put a ring on it, right?
That's right.
Seriously.
I got 2 hands as well, but now I have a +2 magic item.
So we are preparing to go face this fire demon. Just like in Brutal Legend, Jack Black. That was a cool video game, by the way. If you've never played it, go look it up on YouTube. It was like Molly Hatchet album covers become a video game. It's awesome.
Nice.
It had that 70s heavy metal aesthetic, and Jack Black was a roadie who got transported into this heavy metal world. He was the roadie. All right.
See, we took a circuitous route, but eventually you got us to where we were supposed to go, right?
Eventually, and that is the art of the Dungeon Master. All right. So, are you guys ready to move in?
And the best part is you didn't have to describe all these rooms that were completely useless.
Aw.
Wait,
No.
so this is wait, this looks like an ice place, not a
It
fireplace.
is. It's part of her domain.
Oh, but there's a fire demon.
And the
in there.
fire demon is trying to muscle in on her territory.
Trying to muscle in on her territory. All right.
You're it's come loose. You need to readjust the
Uh-oh.
camera inside of the holster. Oh no.
All right. So, we begin.
Alright, so if we all group up, it'd be easier for them to hit us with fireballs.
Right?
Stick together.
I have a sneak attack. I would like to be able to use it.
One grenade will get us all.
Nope. No sneak attacks.
No sneak attacks?
That's what happens when you play a rogue.
Well, if you
only
can
get to use it once per campaign. That's
per
it.
campaign.
What?
Well, I will.
And then you're gonna miss.
I will tell you this. The sneak attack is hard to get off unless you've got a buddy flanking for you, setting up the sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a feat that they introduced.
That's what I'll be doing. Do you have a 20-sided die I can borrow?
Yeah.
I gotta.
I'd like to hide.
Okay.
I
There was
also would like to hide.
a feat they introduced
You guys
that.
just every time we do something, you hide.
24.
All right, so you've got a 24 for your hide.
4
You've got a 4 for your hide.
Wait, you don't have a bonus?
plus 2.
So the 4 is after or before the bonus?
Do I see where he hides?
Yeah, because you all teleport into the same general area.
Boom. There we are.
Okay. So.
Can I put it here? Can I put
Any
it in
information on
ice
what
vision?
kind of fire demon
Ice
we're going to
vision.
fight?
She didn't specify.
And we neglected to get that information before we left.
She didn't seem like she wanted to give it to us anyway. Somebody's stealing her stuff and all, you know. I think she may just come down and reclaim her magical items later on.
Maybe. But after that, we will have already killed this thing.
Can we see in here, or is this? Is it?
It's dark,
But we have night vision.
but all 3 of you are demi-human, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the bard's half-elven.
I got low light vision.
All right. There's a little bit of actual light coming from this pool, almost as if the bottom of the little underground lake is glowing, illuminated. Yeah, there you go. So there's a little bit of light, just enough to make the low light vision work. It's still very cold around here, but looking around, you can see that there are spots down here that have melted and refrozen recently. A few moments after appearing.
So we're hiding, right?
Yes.
Where are we hiding?
Well, 2 of you are hiding. Probably up against the wall.
What's the sorcerer just
Well,
gonna
if it's the,
What-
let's,
yes,
let's
what are
hide.
you
Let's
doing?
hide in 2 completely different spots.
Well, I guess, you know,
Which one is me?
Mother.
Which one of these is me?
I'm gonna go ahead and make myself invisible.
That one's you.
Okay. So you go invisible. Choose a spot to be invisible.
Actually, here, can I jump across? Boom, boom, boom. Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah, it would be. It would involve some jump checks, but since you're only doing like 5 or 10 feet at a time, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm going to let you guys set up where you want to be.
Oh, he's way over there. That he can flank with arrow fire, right?
No.
No, you've got to flank melee.
Oh, all right. Well, if we're doing it that way, then all right. Here, we'll just go. Well, I just don't feel like this is the best spot for us to be able to attack this thing from 3 sides. Here, why don't we come over here?
Okay.
Oh,
so
like a
we'll,
larger area?
Yeah.
So we'll go all over
I
here.
see that. I see that.
I'll go hide right here then.
Okay. So,
Or do you want to be over here?
No, I don't want to be out in the open.
What are you doing? Don't be next to me.
Well, that's the point, though. If you want to flank, right?
I'll be right there out in the open.
Do we want to? No, because if we flank, like we got to approach from either side, right?
No, I mean, you could just walk around him. Like, 5-foot step will put you on almost either side of them.
Okie dokie.
I mean, you don't have to come in like from opposite sides.
But we're hiding as well.
You can like,
But we're hiding. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Well, I'm trying to hide. But
fine. All right. Oh, you're trying to hide, but not doing a very good job of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay. So you guys are hiding for a few moments. Everything's quiet. Like the only thing making noise is water dripping from the ceiling into the underground lake. And then you see a glow directly across from you. The glow gets brighter and brighter until this creature that looks like its skin is made of dark stone. It's wrapped in iron chains that are glowing with the heat of the forge. And it walks into the room, right there. It enters the room and looks around.
Probably see me.
It says, "So, she has sent exterminators."
No, we're looking for Hollister. We're looking for the mage Hollister.
He says,
Do you know anything about Hollister?
He narrows his eyes and says, "There is no mage here. This is now my domain."
How do we get out of here? What's the exit door?
Classic misdirection.
He says, "You wish to leave?
Yes.
Is he or like?
And what will you trade for the
is-
privilege of leaving here
Is
with your
anyone
lives?"
is anyone approaching in any direction here? Like, are we moving toward each other?
I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 right there.
Why are you moving away from our flanking position?
I don't know where you are.
What do you mean you don't know where? Because
You've
I'm hiding.
hidden. Yeah.
But okay.
So I'm kind of up negotiating with him.
Sure.
So I'll say,
Is he moving up toward him?
I'm sorry. What did he say?
He asked, "With what will you with what will you pay for the privilege of leaving with your life?"
Well, I'll reach into my pocket and I'll pull out a bag of gold.
It says, "Gold."
This is a bag of gold, yes.
And how much gold do you offer? How much is your life worth?
I offer all my gold.
Like 20 gold in there.
There's like 20 whole gold in here.
Let me see.
And half a meatball sub.
There's some gems in there too.
It says gems, you
Yes.
say.
Then I'll step 5, 10, 15, a little away from him like that. Then I'll set it down right here.
I sneak around the edge of the wall.
Like this way?
Oh.
That way. Yep. Around the edge, up against the wall the whole time.
Okay.
Trying to make it to the other side.
All right. You're trying to make it to the other
I'm
side?
trying to make it all the way
Yeah,
around.
all the
there,
way around
so
there.
I'm just
All right.
sneaking around super slow.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to keep him talking?
Yeah, I'm going to keep him talking.
Do
And
I
I also,
do I need to make a check to see if I do that successfully?
Yes, go ahead and make a move silent.
Silent. Hold on. Move silently. Plus 11. 13.
13. Well,
It's an opposed one.
it's opposed, so this guy might...
Maybe he'll roll a 1.
All right. He says, "So you have a companion. Step out of the shadows, little one."
and I said, well, I've got this bag full of gems. There's only a few gems. There's a ruby in here, though. It looks really good with fire. And then I've also got all this gold. And I was just wondering if you wanted to take this, if you just wanted it, or... And I move right there.
He says, "And if I decide your offering is only worth one of your lives, which of you will walk out of here alive?"
Well, since I paid the gold, I think I'm the one that should be walking out of here alive.
I'm pretty sure that my life is worth more than yours, dude. Serious, like, come on. Let's be real here.
He says, "Then place your offering before me as your
Oh, his offering is my offering.
associate did."
His offering is my offering. That's you take that gold and you let me go and you can take him.
He says, "Well now, it seems we have a problem."
Is he not moving toward us at all?
No, he's just standing there. He says, "There is items of great value
moving it all
ahead of
I got a
me."
lightning bolt ready for this guy, but you're in my way.
but only enough value for one life. And you both seem to disagree on which life I should spare.
I cast grease right underneath his feet. Then I draw my sword and
All
run
right.
to him and stab him.
So, you start hearing Travolta and Olivia Newton-John singing at his feet. I got chills, they're multiplying,
And I'm loose.
it's electrifying.
Why, this spell could be automatic. Boom.
Oh,
Hydromatic. Boom.
and we're gonna do this, are we?
Go grease lightning. Go grease lightning.
Okay. So,
Roll for initiative.
indeed, roll for initiative. So he's got grease under his feet, and now we're going to an initiative round.
13 plus what's my modifier here?
Probably your dex.
Dex. Plus, so it's 13 plus
All right.
3, right?
Yes,
So 16.
that's a 16.
Yep.
Anybody got less than an 8? What did you get?
20.
You got a 20?
That
And
would be the
Jim,
last
what did you
one I
get?
rolled
I
today.
got 13.
13. Okay, so the creature is going to go last.
Woohoo!
You're up first.
All right. 1, 2. And lightning bolt.
So what is the save against grease with your caster level?
I think it's 10 plus my caster level plus my charisma. 14.
Okay, cool. All right. So, what are you doing?
So, can you tell me what needs to happen for me to pull off a sneak attack?
You have the opposite side than me.
Yeah, you have to be directly across from him.
Is there space for me to get directly across from him?
There is. However, you will be moving through a threatened area to do that, and he would get a free swing at you.
Roll a tumble.
You could make a tumble check. You should have tumble. You've got an amazing dexterity.
I don't. I don't see a word.
The bottom
tumble
of
in
your
here.
skill check.
Yeah,
Bottom of your skills.
are those printed front and back, or are they?
Just
No.
down front.
So it
No,
would
no,
be
they're
toward the
printed
bottom
front
of
and
you.
back. Just
That
look-
one is because I just printed that
So it
tonight.
would be underneath. Tumble would be underneath swim, right?
Right.
Swim, use rope. So no, I don't have a tumble.
It's not listed, is it? Well,
not
you at
listed.
least have a +5 on it because you're you've got a 20 dex.
I've got appraise, balance, bluff, climb, escape artist, jump.
What is the point of balance? Is balance?
Balance is to keep your feet, like in like if someone casts grease.
survival.
Actually, that's more a ref save. But like the situation we had the other night where there was a fight going on the top of a moving cart, that would be a balance check.
So I mean, yeah.
Toss a d20 and add 5, because you would definitely have that.
Okay.
You'd have to at least have
Something
one.
like
yeah.
climb or
One-
okay.
one in it
That's
to
assuming
use
that
it.
I'm doing that. I'm not
No, you
committing
can
to
do a
doing
straight-
that just yet. I just
You
wanna
can?
know.
You can do a straight.
You can do an
ability.
unskilled check
Yeah.
as long as it's not something like knowledge arcana or something that's.
Okay.
Okay.
So, toss the die.
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
you're not
I'm
gonna
not
try it?
committing to it yet. It's still his
Okay.
move.
Oh, that's right. It's still your move.
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
Let's see what we got here. We're not doing good so far. He's got a reflex save. That is 7. Oh.
Is that a six?
18 total.
18 total. All right. Okay.
And I guess what is the reflex save for that?
Well, it would be your sorcerer level would be 3rd level spell plus your charisma bonus. Should be 13 plus.
He made it, so he takes half of that.
Yeah.
Do it again.
He is a large demon.
You roll up or down?
So he needs
Or do
he needs
you
what?
round
16?
up or down?
16 or better?
Round
What's your charisma?
It's 10 plus charisma plus level of the spell.
Right.
So 16.
16. Yeah, it becomes 8+ in 5th edition. It's 10+
Unless-
now.
Unless you have. Where are your feats?
Like,
not ones that persuasion and SQ materials is not going to help.
Where are your feats?
Right here, the bottom of my legs.
Your feetsies? Well, I guess. Oh yeah, eschew materials and persuasion.
Yeah.
all right,
It's not
you
gonna
are next.
All right. So do I have the space and time to draw my sword, get over there, and attack? Can I do all of that on this move? Given what
Drawing your weapon's sort of an incidental action.
Yeah.
You can move up to your move, which should be 30 feet, which would be 6 squares,
Okay.
and
so
then
yes.
execute a single attack. So yes, you can.
So I could do that. So
Yes.
I could so if I did my tumble.
Don't do your tumble. Just attack. You're getting him flat-footed.
Well, no, that's just the tumble would be to avoid.
Oh, you're right. He is flat-footed because he hasn't acted yet on the first.
No attacks
which means
of
it's still a
opportunity.
sneak attack.
Um,
That's the reason why I'm doing this.
Yes.
Is to get to the other
yeah,
side
you
and
can
be
move
able to
up and
sneak.
roll your sneak attack right now. Now, if you want to sneak attack next round, you've
I'll
got
make
to
sure
be
he can.
across.
I think
I'll-
you
I'll
should
do the move.
I think you should move into flanking.
No, I'll
and
move
then
him.
do
I'll
it.
move him into flanking.
Yeah.
I'll move into flanking. He just needs to. Attack.
Okay. So then I'm going over here. Oh shit.
Like the guy's flat-footed, he can't get an attack of opportunity.
Right, but
Boom.
we don't need him to move.
So I'm
into
going
flanking
up
because I
there.
can
This
move
is
into
the
flanking.
area.
That's
This is
what
the
I
obstacle I
understand
was going to
flanking
have to
is.
avoid, right?
But it's really easy for me to understand.
Well,
So when
no,
it's
it was
necessary to do
his.
flanking, I
You
do
can
the
move
flanking.
past that, no problem. It's a matter of if he wasn't flat-footed, as you ran past him to get behind him, he would just be able to go slap, but he
Okay.
can't because he's flat-footed. So you're in position. Roll your attack,
So
and if it hits,
I'm rolling my attack with my rapier.
remember to add 2 points to whatever it says you should.
Yes, and then I also get, what is it, my strength bonus, or
It should already be calculated in there toward the bottom.
this is attack, right? So my attack is plus my attack handheld is +6,
Plus 2 more for
plus
the
2 more,
rapier
so
is
it's a
plus
plus
8.
8.
16.
16.
That's not gonna do it. All right, so you hit, and his like thick, almost rocky body flames leap out where your rapier hits him, but it doesn't look like it does any damage. So that moves us to you.
So I'll take a 5-foot step.
5-foot step.
Now he's flanking.
Yep.
All right, and then I will attack while I begin singing. 11 plus 2 plus 3. Where's my attack bonus? Rapier.
There.
Oh, 6, 7, 8. So that's a 19.
Very close, but still not quite a hit.
Well, now that has to take a round for my singing to effect. But
To-
once the
to
singing
go
comes
into
in,
effect.
we all get +1 to attack.
All right. It's just like Min-May. All right.
So we get another +1 after. All right.
So that was not
Yay, morale bonus.
quite a hit. All right. It takes a full attack and tries to hit
The singing bard.
the singing bard.
The singing bard is the one behind him.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, behind him.
Yeah.
He can only engage one of you. So
I almost hit him more almost than he did. And I've cast grease. Did he make his save? Did he not fall down?
he rolled a 15. He's got a +8. He rolled a 7, +8, 15.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because this is a...
He's got to roll it every round, though.
Okay, yeah. Oh. So, he...
Wait a minute.
Is it
How
just
long...
those 4
What's
squares
Grease's
that-
duration?
Oh, it's like it'll last a
I
while.
believe it's around per level, but
Yeah, so that'll be there for a while. All right,
Let me check on that.
sure. First attack, a
So
16.
To hit
Hold
me?
on.
Yes.
I have.
Misses.
All right, second attack, a 13, also misses.
Yep.
So, these fiery chains that look like they're still in the forge because they're glowing
Yeah.
roll off his body and both swing at you, but you manage to dodge both of them.
Okay. Any creature in the area of the spell must make a successful reflex. The save is repeated on your turn each round.
Yep.
That's 1 round per level.
Okay.
That's 6
So for the
rounds.
next 7 rounds,
6 rounds.
6 rounds.
All right. It's our turn. Rogue.
Okay.
The sorcerer
Sorcerer.
goes.
Sorcerer
All right,
goes
so you
first.
lightning bolted him.
yes, I did.
What would you do now?
I think he'll take another 5-foot step and lightning bolt again. Reflex save. Oh, come on, man.
He's been
Really?
thunderstruck.
His reflex save is a 12. He blew it. He takes full damage.
19.
19 damage. All right, that got his attention. Boom.
Alright, and so now I'm attacking again with the rapier. So now I get a +9 to my roll, right?
Mhm.
That is a 6 plus 9 is 15.
15's not going
Still
to
not
do it.
going to do it. Ugh.
No!
All right.
You have
Wait,
more than
he's
one
flanking. He
Huh?
gets plus
Oh, I'm sorry. +2 for the flanking. That's
+1 for the
Two.
singing.
he already calculated that in. So 9, 10, 11 plus
Did I-
6
Wait, I don't think I
would
think
be
I did.
17.
I don't think
What's
I
your
did.
attack
no, no.
bonus?
So hold on. My attack bonus is +6.
So it's
And
plus
then
2.
it's +2 for the magic, which is +8.
And 1 for the singing is 9.
Is 9.
And
So
then 2 for flanking is 11.
is 11.
Plus a 6 would be 17. Not
so
enough.
question though, because last time
Mhm.
we didn't add that 2 in.
Because you weren't flanking yet.
I was flanking. Oh,
No,
I wasn't
he was just
flanking yet.
flat-footed.
He was
Gotcha.
just flat-footed.
Okay. All right.
You're flanking now, though.
I'm flanking now.
And
so I
you'll
get
also
+11.
get the +2
Yeah.
because
Alright.
you're flanking alike.
Right. +3 actually.
3?
The morale bonus.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
It also gives us a good save against fear. So I attack. That is plus. It's a 19.
I think you needed 20.
Just barely miss.
6. Wait, it's 6 plus 2. No, I hit. Because it's 12. I rolled a 12. It's plus 5 because of the +2. So that is actually a 21.
Okay, a 21 hits.
Because it's a plus. So it's +2, +1. That's +5.
And then
so it's
2
plus
for-
11 total. So plus 11 total makes that 23.
Yeah,
So I hit.
you got it.
All right, I
Roll
need-
damage.
Can I get a D6?
A D6. You got a D6. You got
Yep.
a D6.
All right, and I
Roll
get
a
a damage bonus
Roll a skull.
plus a +2 bonus.
+2 bonus from
Does
the
the
rapier.
flanking give me any bonus damage?
Not bonus damage.
Only he
It'll
does.
give him bonus damage.
Ah, that's a 6.
6. All right, 6 plus.
2.
No,
No.
it's 6 plus 5, so that's 11.
2, 2, 1. Yeah.
All right, you managed to get through his magical defenses and do some
more than
actual
one attack?
damage.
No, I only attacked once. All right.
All right, and now it's its turn. So it attacks.
I just hit it.
All right, odd. It attacks you with one chain, and it attacks you with another chain.
Ooh, that chain goes
You
an
mean
awful
me?
long way.
Yes, it
You mean,
does.
you mean me? Because he's off at a distance.
Exactly.
Oh,
He can
okay.
he
All
can
right.
control the chains. Oh wait, no wait, hang on. Within 20 feet. 5,
Definitely
10,
out of
15,
range.
20. Out of range. Never mind. So he does attack you.
Okay.
So attack on you is
I have a evasion and uncanny dodge and improved uncanny dodge.
a 12. Okay.
I have improved uncanny dodge.
He gets you with a 19. Let me see if there is a reflex
That's not going to
save.
help you with this. AoE
No,
stuff
it's not a reflex save. It's a straight attack.
for
Um,
uncanny dodge.
Okay.
Like if a fireball was chucked at you.
Okay. Well, how about evasion?
Evasion.
we looked that up last time. It was.
Does it? I may be thinking of it differently.
Go ahead and look it up.
What is the difference between uncanny dodge and evasion? Am I getting them backwards?
8.
Uncanny dodge helps against flanking attacks and surprise attacks. Evasion helps against saving throws. versus
Right. Evasion
fireballs.
is take half or save for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, either one of those are not going to help you get.
So those are against AOE
Of
attack.
melee-
Yeah,
of
area of
melee
effect
attack.
attacks. So 8 points of damage come in.
Does he roll to save against grease?
10 plus 8 is 18.
Yeah.
That's another round of grease.
So he needs what? 14.
He's got a plus 8.
I know. So he.
Oh
needs-
yeah, and he needs a 14. So if the die comes up less than a 6, he face plants
Okay.
or butt plants or whichever direction.
Right. He won't be able to attack twice.
Okay. So that brings us back to you.
Well, it's a good thing that I've got a lot of these. We're gonna go ahead, lightning bolt again.
Wow. This is what sorcerers are good for.
Yeah,
Damage.
that's pretty much it. Oh, got one on the board.
There's a 1.
One,
And that's a 4.
one,
See, if we were playing skee ball, that would have been worth points.
6.
12, 17, 21.
21.
You should really just take the second throw twice
Right.
instead of doing the first throw each time.
Yeah, it's so
So 21.
21.
And then,
He's got a reflex save.
13 and 8 is 21.
Got his reflex save, so
So he takes half damage.
that will be 10 points, right?
Yes.
Round down.
Yes. All right. It is
all
in
right.
ouch mode.
Now I am adding 11. Ha! Nat 20. So that is
Possible crit.
that
Roll
is
again.
that is a critical. Oh, so I roll again for the
Yeah,
critical.
you
hit?
roll again to confirm the crit. A
And that's
second
another
nat
nat
20.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Do you roll it again?
No.
No.
Although I have played with DMs that do that.
Yeah, roll it. What is it, 3 in a row and it's insta-gib?
Right?
All right.
So he
So
gets
now what?
flanking damage plus
So I get
3d6.
flanking. So it's
So the weapon damage will be tripled plus flanking damage.
Okay, that's
and then I get the
Well,
magic
you
bonus
mean
as well.
Plus his sneak attack.
Plus my sneak
Well,
attack.
yes, I'm sorry, the
Plus
sneak attack damage.
Plus I get magic as well. Now does the +2 apply to each of the d6s?
No,
Just
it
to the
applies
first one.
overall. So,
Okay.
roll the weapon damage. So the rapier's a d6 plus 2.
Okay.
So
that's
2,
2,
4. So
4.
4 times 3 is 12. And now roll your sneak attack damage, which is another 3 dice.
Wait, he gets damage bonuses based on the morale and
Ah.
is it strength?
Did you add your strength then? What's your strength?
Yeah, what's your strength bonus?
is +2.
So 12, 14, plus the morale bonus is 15, plus 3d6.
Yep.
Damn. All right. So what were we at? We were at 15.
15, 16, 22 damage.
All right.
That's nice.
Better than my lightning bolt.
Made up for the complete failures the first 2 times.
We're averaging it out. We're whittling
That's
this guy
insane. All right,
I just
your
wish
turn.
I just wish I'd rolled higher on that first one. Because if
18
I'd gotten a
possible crit.
6, that would have been
All right.
6,
Rapier,
8,
yeah.
24.
Yeah,
Is a rapier crit
Huh?
on an 18?
18 to 20. So roll to confirm the crit.
No.
All right, so it is a hit though.
Where'd that d6 go?
He's got him. Choose your poison.
DM says you're gonna die. Roll a d6.
Oh, 6 again. 6 plus, this is 6 plus 5?
Yeah, it was plus 5 last time.
Right, so that's another 11 hit points damage.
All right.
How's he look?
He looks dead. Yes!
Ah!
That is what a crit, 3 lightning bolts, and a fair amount of hacky slashy will do.
All right,
And
cool.
some decent magic weapons.
Nice one. You got to use
So-
it. That's it for the rest of this campaign. No more sneak attacks.
So he
Never
dies.
Yeah.
He came out from over here. I walk around over to here. What's over here?
I search him.
All right. Looking back in that direction, you can see that this demon had hollowed out a little kind of living space. And looking around, you're not the first adventurers that have crossed his path. He's actually killed a few and has their belongings all piled up in a corner.
Yeah, gather all of the belongings.
Oh yes, there's a fair amount of gold, a few weapons, some armor.
Cast detect magic.
A couple of the items are in fact magic.
Oh, I
There's
only
a-
get three zero
Oh,
level per day,
okay.
and I've reached my.
I can do it though.
You can do it though. So there's a magical hammer. There's a magical shield.
Cure moderate wounds on the injured rogue.
All right, I took 8 damage. Is that enough?
You
to-
heal.
Yeah,
Alright.
cure moderate will blow that easy.
Magic hammer.
There's a magic hammer. There's a magic shield.
Who wants to take those?
I will. Magic
You
shield.
want to write them you down on your sheet?
Yeah,
magic
and there is a
shield.
pair of magic gauntlets.
Ooh, what do magic gauntlets do?
Depends on what kind of gauntlets they are.
We don't know. We have to identify them.
And the terrible thing about cursed magic items in D&D is if you just put them on and try them, your character won't want to take them off.
Mm.
Like, they're convinced they're the best thing ever.
All right.
Cursed
so
swords
who's holding
suck
on
that
to
way.
magic gauntlets? You're holding on to them? Is your sorcerer?
I'll put them on.
Oh, okay. Well, they are not in fact cursed. They are gauntlets of ogre power.
Yeah, punch the wall.
Yeah. Rock and ice shatter.
So
all
now
of
I
it.
have a
better than
19
It's
strength?
much better than the curse.
I
gauntlets of
thought it
Harry
was
Balls.
18, but they may have changed in.
So is it +4 +4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Too bad. They couldn't have been gauntlets of the gender bender one.
That's always fun.
All right.
What is it?
So
That's a girdle. This
It's
is
a
why
girdle.
Why you don't put on girdles? in
Are we
D&D.
gonna teleport ourselves back to the ice palace? Or do we want to look around here first? Or
I
do we
mean,
wanna walk
you
back?
have destroyed the demon and looted his stuff.
Or do we want to try and
Let's
walk back?
take. I want to take his chains as proof that we killed him.
Ah, okay. It's a straight +2 enhancement bonus to your strength score.
Oh,
So you are.
that
16
doesn't
now.
help me at all.
Sure, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It
Because I do
doesn't?
damage with finesse, not strength.
All right. So
You
we give
hit
them to me.
with finesse.
I give them to him.
Okay.
All right. So now I have magic gauntlets.
They give you plus.
+1 to hit and damage, basically, because it's +2 to your strength.
Okay. So my strength is now from +2 is now +4. And
Wait, what is your strength?
Well,
my
yeah.
strength is 14.
It
So
becomes
right-
a 16,
So it becomes 16.
Which is
okay.
+3.
which is
+3.
+3.
So this is plus.
Yeah.
So
Gee, they really nerfed the gauntlets of Ogre.
They did really nerf those.
Yeah.
They're not as awesome as they used to be.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't they just take you straight to 18 odd?
Yeah.
Well, that's second.
That
right?
that's yes,
That's
in
first
old school.
edition.
Yeah, first and second they took you to 18.
18
double
00,
lock.
yeah.
And does that add to my
To hit?
my attack?
Yeah, +1 to your attack, +1
So my
to your
attack is now 7. So my attack's all right. Hold on.
So yeah, we in basic D&D we had a wizard running around with those once, just in case he ran out of spells. Somebody got in his face, he would just be.
That's kind of silly.
Indeed, it is.
Well,
Oh wait, no, hold on, because that's dexterity. Okay, so that's
I think we ran into something similar, but it's because all of our fighters had like 19 strengths by then anyway. So
Nice attack.
Now I'm gonna go home and read the 5th edition version and see what they did with that, because that is definitely a interesting.
shall we teleport back?
Yes, I suppose we
All
should.
right.
To continue our diplomatic maneuvers.
is my touch AC affected by this as well?
No.
No, that won't affect your armor class.
So I've got the magic
Dex
hammer
that
and I've got the
will
magic
affect
shield.
your AC.
Alright.
But it will affect anything in here that is affected by strength, which includes jump.
It'll be +1
Will be
to
plus
anything
one
that.
to anything that affects.
Yep.
Alright, so you
Climb is now
teleport.
11.
I've always wanted to have a soundboard with like sound effects and have the teleport sound from Super Friends that I can play.
Yes, and the
And
invisibility sound from Fantastic Four was really
swim
cool.
is
The
now 3.
Yeah.
Whenever Sue would go invisible. I love all those old sound effects.
Okay.
Hanna-Barbera, the Hanna-Barbera stuff.
So we took the chains and we teleported back.
The Herculoids.
So now we have 1. Our scroll of teleport can be used once.
All right. So you teleport back to the mansion of the Ice Sorceress. The teleport takes you to her sitting room, to the library. And she is in one of the big comfy chairs, just sort of waiting. In one hand, she has a drink, and in the other hand, she has a clear crystal sphere.
She's been scrying. We've got the chains here of the demon that was been plaguing you.
She sips her drink and says, "Excellent. I can do some decorating with those."
That was quite an interesting grotto. What was the light coming from the pools at the bottom?
She says, "I occasionally experiment on some of the creatures down here. I've created a place where I can work with various types of fish and water creatures."
Well, that was kind of curious. Now that we've defeated the demon, what do? We are looking to be teleported to Hollister's magical stronghold or compound or habitat here in this ice palace.
She says, if you wish.
Can we take a night to rest first?
Yes, we would like to regain our strength.
She says, certainly, I have more than enough guest rooms for the three of you. She says, however, not the one you were shown before. She says, that one is for uninvited guests. And so, you have earned my respect and my gratitude. We will make sure you are fed. We will make sure you are well rested. And tomorrow I will cast the teleport that will send you to Halaster's sanctum myself. That way, between the ring you hold and the scroll you are in possession of, you can return here or to another place of safety. Should
groovy.
You survive.
Sounds groovy.
Good luck to you.
Can you just scry there and see if he's there?
She says, I've been attempting to do so when I was not watching your battle. That was quite masterful. It seems enough lightning will kill anything. I must make a note of that.
Well, actually, it was my final blow which pierced him most dearly and caused him to fall to his death. But my companions certainly were help.
She says, indeed, your ability to annoy a host is not the only mighty thing about you.
Touche. Ice princess, touche.
Ice Queen.
Ice queen, I'm sorry, princess.
don't
By the way,
don't
is
do
there
more
an
than
ice
rank.
princess?
Did you just assume my noble rank?
I did.
All right.
I can see your crown.
It's not a circlet. It's a crown.
That's right.
So, she has the major domo conduct you to the guest rooms, indeed not to the one that you had been placed at before, to get a good night's rest, and in the morning has a sumptuous breakfast laid out for you, and then makes good on her word and teleports you directly to the complex that was Halaster's sanctum.
Groovy.
Is there not so okay. Are we continuing at this point, or we're at
We're not doing too bad. We could stop.
10
I don't mind
o'clock?
stopping a little early tonight.
Huh?
Sure.
This is probably good space.
A good pause point.
Why don't we do it before we teleport, just in
Yes.
case we
Sure.
happen to contract a ranger next time?
Right.
Well, we're not going to be playing this game again.
No.
This was to illustrate 3.5.
When we come back after next week's North Texas RPG Con, which is where I'll be, we are playing the Fantasy Trip Monday, which is going to be a lot of fun. That's Steve Jackson's fantasy game. Think of it as very, very proto GURPS. It was
Wow.
it was it's before they decided to make it a generic game. It was specifically a fantasy game, and it worked very well for what it was trying to do.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then when we come back from that, we're gonna play 4th edition, and then 5th edition.
So with 3.5, I think the major alteration to 3.5 was the rules about partial actions.
They fixed the action economy a little bit. Like if you take a look at the Game Master screen for 3.5, the phrase partial action no longer appears.
Exactly. And they gave a lot of leeway with a lot of extra. It kind of made it confusing, I think, for people too, and they would debate what the rule would be, which was always a big problem. Which is what the whole intention of having these things manifest on a hex grid was trying to overcome. What do you think was the most major thing that they changed from 3.0 to 3.5?
Well, they revamped a lot of the feats that showed up in players' hands constantly. There were some feats that completely got ignored and no one ever took them. And then there were some feats that were, the phrase that was used in the online forums was a feat tax. Like, I want to do this, but in order to do this, I have to have this, this, and this, which do me no good at all. And they eliminated a little of that. Like, for instance, we didn't have the Ranger in there tonight. But characters that wanted to do 2-weapon fighting had to pick up ambidexterity first and then 2-weapon fighting, which in itself was really complicated. There was a chart for, do you have ambidexterity? Yes, no. Do you have ambidexterity and 2-weapon fighting? Yes, no. Do you have ambidexterity and 2-weapon fighting and your offhand weapon is light? Yes, no. And so you had to go through all this to figure out, what is my attack bonus? They simplified that a bit in 3.5. They changed up some spell descriptions that were vague. They changed some of the feats that never got used. They either took them out or revamped them so that they would be attractive. They changed the skill list.
How did they change the skill list? They didn't. They didn't get rid of tumble, but they got rid of rope. I think they got rid of
Use rope is still there.
use
Yeah,
rope
I
is still there. So
reused
this
it.
is
But-
3.5 list of
That is 3.5's list of skills.
yeah. So they changed the knowledge. I know that under the bard that they changed the spell lists, but I didn't.
A couple of the spell lists changed. A couple of spells got revamped. I had a whole list of all of the changes that I had researched.
What about the D20 system? Is this when was 3.5?
Yeah, 3.0 and 3.5. So one of the things that 3rd edition and 3.5 ushered in is something that is still a major effect on the market today, and that was the OGL, the Open Game License. So what they did when 3rd edition hit and continued with 3.5 was this thing called the Open Game License, which said, hey, you amateur authors out there, you want to write role-playing games, you can use our system. In fact, here is a free copy on the internet of all of the rules except for these 2 things. For those, you need a player's handbook. And as long as your book says requires the Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook for play, you are fully able to use all of this information and go publish your own games. And so it caused a huge surge in third-party publishing, but it was also very similar to the video game crash of 1983, where people figured out they could write software for the Atari and nothing stopped them from doing so. And so there was a ton of crappy software, and it caused a glut, and prices fell, and the market collapsed. The D20 glut happened right about the time that 3.5 was released, because people got up and running under 3.0 and started coming out with all this product, and there's no quality control, right? Because Wizards of the Coast doesn't have to approve it. People just write it. And there was a lot of really good stuff. Spycraft came out of that. There were several really good games that came out of that. But
D20 was sort of like GURPS, wasn't it?
They wanted to make it that way. They wanted the D20 system to be universal, and in a lot of ways it did work. They had
GURPS stands for
generic
General-
universal role-playing system.
Yeah, generic universal role-playing system, and that used percentages, but then they translated it to a D20.
Well, GURPS actually uses 3d6 roll low, which we'll see when we play Fantasy Trip.
Oh, I didn't.
GURPS uses a 3d6 roll low system, which is interesting when you compare it to the D20 system, because everything in Dungeons & Dragons 3 and 4, and even nowadays in 5, is based off the linear 5% per number on a D20.
Yeah, there's a bell curve in the 3D6.
Exactly. And so an 11, the difference between an 11 and 12 is statistically a lot bigger than the difference between an 11 and 12 in this.
Or a 15 and a 20.
Yeah, right.
All
The
the
further
same
you get to the
probability.
edge, the bigger the probabilities
Right. No
get.
one ever rolls snake eyes or boxcars. They always roll 7
Yeah.
because it's a 5 or a 2 or 4 or a 3 or 6 or a 1.
So, yeah, it's very different in the probabilities. And the funny part was when GURPS came out, the ability scores were kind of 3 to 18, and so a lot of D&D players looked at it and thought it meant the same thing. But an 18 in GURPS is much rarer than an 18 in D&D, and it represents a much higher ability of so. But yes, 3.5 and 3.0 kind of changed the face of the role-playing industry, and there was some unintended ripples to that as well. Now, the con that I'm going to next week, I'm going to be looking at all these games, and there's a couple I'm going specifically to play, like, for instance, Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. Those games are what are termed retro clones. The idea being there's a lot of us out there that want to play old school D&D. And when the OGL came out, a couple of enterprising authors went, hey, wait a minute. This game still uses strength, dex, con, int, whiz, charisma. This game still uses classes and levels. What if we said we were publishing under the OGL, but what we're really doing is republishing Basic Expert D&D or First Edition AD&D? So I am not clear on what the absolute first product like this was, but the industry seems to agree it was called Labyrinth Lord. And Labyrinth Lord was a restatement of the Basic Expert D&D rules almost precisely. And then came a game called Osric. Osric is almost precisely First Edition AD&D.
What's the date on these publications? 2012?
So let's see.
2016? Let me. You keep going.
Yeah. So Osric was basically designed. 2006 was the first date. So it was during the 3.5.
That's a year after 3.5 started.
And then Labyrinth Lord. 2007. So Osric did come first.
Okay.
But what those games did was offered a side door. So I'm going to write an adventure. I'm going to say it's compatible with Osric. And that's gamer code for this is a first edition D&D module. I can't publish it saying it's for first edition D&D, but I can say it's for Osric. And everyone out there will know what I mean.
Well, Osric, short for Old School Reference and Index Compilation.
Mm-hmm.
Or compilation.
Mm-hmm.
Is a fantasy role-playing game system. Specifically, Osric is a recreation of the first edition of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons.
Yes, it is. And it's a brilliant book. It takes first edition AD&D and restates it to be a lot clearer and more straightforward.
Yeah.
It's not written in High Gygaxian, in other words.
Yeah.
So, like, to get the initiative rules correct in first edition, you have to go all over the DMG to find, oh, the surprise rules are over here. But if you look at this character class, it's surprised this way, and this monster surprised that way, and it's all over the place. Osric actually compiles it all into one place.
But you're saying that this was an effect of the success
It was.
of the
OGL.
OGL,
Which-
and OGL was part of 3.0 and 3.5.
And 3.5.
And the playing of 3.0 for 3 years
Yes, it was only around from 2000 to 2003, and then they came out with
3.5, which released a whole bunch more books,
Mm-hmm.
and they sold these books. They were the same covers, weren't they? It was just 3.5.
the covers were updated a little. They were the same basic design, like they looked like, you know, they were clad in with gems and stuff like that. They just revamped the covers a little bit.
Yeah.
And they made sure to say 3.5 on the covers so that you knew.
Now, were they offering like conversion kits for old content, or was
There
this just
were
like, here's
there were
new
some
content?
conversion documents, and by that time the internet was a thing, and so you could go out and pull up conversions. And the SRD, the system reference document, was also updated, so you could just go out and download the whole damn game at that point. And some publishers have followed suit with that. Like, there are other game systems that have an SRD out there. And there are other publishers that now have a licensing agreement like that. Like for Savage Worlds, you can go out and write anything you want for Savage Worlds and put the Savage Fans seal on it and distribute it for free. And if you want to sell it for profit, you go through their online program, and they basically take a look at your stuff, and if there's nothing objectionable in it, if you're not doing the Book of Erotic Fantasy version 2, then they're like, yeah, okay, you know, do your thing. So there's several publishers that do that now, and it all started with Dungeons & Dragons 3 and 3.5. But an interesting twist that has been figured out legally since this happened. So when they did Osric and Labyrinth Lord, if you take a look at the first printings of both of those games, there's tiny differences. Like, for instance, instead of a fighter needing 2,000 XP to level, he needs 2,035. That was done because the understanding in the industry at the time was that you could not precisely copy these things. What's been found out since then is it's the artistic expression you can't copy. I can't copy the explanation of what strength is from D&D word for word, but I can write my rules to work exactly the same way. Rules cannot be copywritten, only the artistic expression, which is why you see 50 different versions of Monopoly out there, like Round Rock Monopoly and University of Texas Monopoly. As long as they don't post a picture of little Mr. Monopoly dude or something that can be copywritten, you can write versions of Monopoly all day. You could write versions of D&D all day. But the moment you hit something that is IP, like a Beholder, for instance, you go out and download the SRD, you'll find skeletons, you'll find orcs, you'll find dragons. You will not find a Beholder, because the Beholder is TSR and Wizards of the Coast's creation. That's their IP.
Is Drow, are the Drow part of TSR? They don't. I don't think they had dark elves.
You know, I would have to flip through the
mythology-
SRD to see if they're in there.
It would be a Norse mythological thing, or a Tolkien
Well,
mythological.
see, Dark Elf
There
would
was
be.
a dark elf named
Dark
Eol.
Elf would be, but Drow by name might
Right.
be IP.
Drow by name is IP.
I believe the Illithid are also not in there. Theirs are also specific IP.
I think those could be translated as an H.P. Lovecraft creature.
Well, and that's actually, that happened during first edition. The Lovecraft and Elric mythos made it into deities and demigods without a
Yes.
license,
Yeah.
and then they had to reprint the book without those
Yes,
because
I
they
remember that,
hadn't
yeah.
they hadn't gotten the license for that.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, like, we're still feeling the ripples from this version of D&D today with books that are still coming out,
right.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jeff.
No problem.